Are you scared of me, Yinny? No. Do you want to be? Are we flirting? Hello, and welcome to Loving Decays. This is a Yandere dating sim in which you play as a mortician who meets a strange man named Chao when you are both tasked to work on a funeral together by the deceased. While he seems like your everyday sweet and handsome plant specimen curator at the local museum who only looks at you with adoration in his eyes, you can't help but notice his expression shift slightly every time he thinks you're not looking. There is something very dangerous about this man. Will you risk everything to find out, or will you choose to remain in ignorant bliss? Let's get started. The woman in front of you lays with a ghastly pallor. Her hair is streaked with grey, and her lashes intact in their darkness rest lightly on cold skin. Around her lips, pale splotches of pink blossom to the jawline. You wonder, as you always do, what kind of voice would have come out of their mouths. Perhaps something unsaid dissolved into the dark with her. The needle injector between your finger clicks, binding her jaw shut. This is giving me flashbacks to when I played mortuary assistant and I was so scared. To not know anything about the bodies whose mouths you'll shut, fingers you'll break, and veins you'll drain. Past what is written on the cream-papered folder just an arm's reach away. It was given in this line of work, yet it is impossible to not imagine the life behind the visage you are locking in time. Sometimes the bereaved would make certain requests to make sure the deceased looks as close to life as possible. Things like leaving certain piercings in or using a specific color of lipstick. You're not sure if the pink on her skin is a rash or a birthmark. Either way, it's light enough that it'll be covered by the makeup later. Another click resounds under the pressure of your fingers. In the room perpetually basks in the sting of formaldehyde, you perform your rituals with mechanical ease. You wonder if anyone would want to preserve you to such a degree should your time come. You give your shiny new work ID once over. Your name, Yinny. Your gender, female. And other personal information. You make a mental note not to lose that card again. How come you get a new card? Lost my entire lanyard a while back. Either the clasp broke or I accidentally left it somewhere. And maybe you got tired of being misplaced and decided to leave home. Can you at least smile? No. A colleague turned good friend of yours. Youthful and naturally easygoing. Ash is a breath of fresh air in the funeral home staff. Despite her occasional childishness, she takes the job with surprising sobriety. I bet old Jared gave you an earful. You chuckle, carefully pocketing the piece of plastic. Only for 5 minutes. Your record's not broken yet. That's too bad. Oh, by the way, you're done dressing up Miss Jane. Yeah, just finished. Have any of her family members responded? Her only child will come for viewing tomorrow. Okay, alright, good. Don't forget to prepare for viewing, and if anything comes up, just call. Aye, miss. May your endeavors be fruitful. She straightens and salutes, earning a grin from you. See you, Ash. You give her a friendly pat on the shoulder and exit the building. Afternoon warmth replaces the lobby's air-conditioned chill. Starting up a pace, you review the day's tasks in your head. Jane Avery, a wealthy businesswoman from the northern side of the city, recently passed away in the hospital due to natural causes. It was a heart attack. Before her death, she left 2 letters detailing the preferred setting of her funeral arrangements. At dawn, her body came in from the hospital. One of her assistants who handed the letters, the first one only having your name on it, the second one having both you and someone you don't know. The first letter contained a deposit payment and a viewing request. She also mentioned people that she would like to have involved in the preparation, though people may give a false sense of number. She simply requested that you as a mortician, and a man, a botanical curator from Cuddle Museum of Natural History as an extra hand. His name is Chao Chen, the other person written on the second envelope. At the end of the first letter were instructions to open the second one only when you are both present. So you contacted the curator a few hours ago. He responded quite quickly and agreed to meet you today. A strange excitement dwells in the back of your mind. Stage 1. Autolysis. The curator recommended this cafe as a meeting spot. It's situated not far from both the funeral home and your residence, but you never tried it before. You chose a seat for the 2 near the window, basking in the remaining daylight pouring from them. The city, ever busy, shines under it. You take out Jane's second letter and sit nicely in the middle of the table. The cafe bell rings throughout the room. You and some other patrons reflexively glance at the entrance. Oh, hello. A young man is already looking directly at you. Oh, he's so pretty. I love pink hair. It's always so gorgeous. Smiling, he makes a beeline to your table. Under his right arm is a motorcycle helmet, and under his left leg is a messenger bag. The keychains on it rattle with each step. Excuse me. Yinny. Ah, yes, you must be Chao. That's me. A pleasure to meet you. He meets your extended hand over the table and takes a seat. Sorry to keep you waiting. Traffic's quite bad today. No, it's alright. I just got here myself. Did you come here straight from work? I did. Had to sort out some papers this morning. His gaze falls to the letters on the table. Let's order something first. He waves a waitress over and you both give her your order. You knew her, didn't you? You should be the one to open it. Chao shakes his head. She sent it to you, not me. Go ahead, we'll read it together anyways. You offer him a small smile and open the unbroken envelope. The paper is the same as the first letter, thick and of high quality. The late Jane Avery wrote meticulously. You lift the paper in the middle of the table, facing the window, so both of you can read at the same time. Her handwriting comes to life in clear, simple cursive. After a minute or so, your eyes meet his at the same time. Silence is broken when the waitress brings in your orders and both of you let out short thanks. Can I read it again? He takes the letter and scans it again. With him occupied, this is the first time you observe his features. You didn't expect anything in particular, but with the titles such as botanical curator, you can't help but expect a more aged person. Someone much closer to the deceased age than yours. A simple type of handsomeness graces his face, framed by hair the shade of blooming petals. His eyes are soft and youthful when they brim with apparent curiosity. Still, there's an air of maturity in how the man carries himself. His voice is stable and his stride is confident. I sure hope he carries me later. To bed. Chao's fingers absently drum the table, bringing you back to attention. Would you like to eat first, miss? Yes. Also, you can call me by my name. I don't think we're that far in age. Only if you want to, of course. Okay, you can call me by my name too then. Don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions about my work. We'll be working together after all. I'd like to ask you some things too, if you don't mind. Not at all. About his job. What do botanical curators do? A variety of things. We handle the acquisition, documentation, and preservation of botanical collections. The museum has a herbarium wing, so I mostly tend to that. I also get to guide a lot of tours. Kids mostly, because according to my manager, my face is approachable enough to them. They're not wrong, you think? You don't miss the way his voice endearingly rises at the mention of his job. What about you? I'm not really familiar with the death care service. Morticians are basically funeral directors. We work with the family, arrange funeral services and memorials, service details, paperwork, things like that. The hours are flexible, but I work on call too. Since I have the licenses to work as both a funeral director and embalmer, it varies from time to time. Do you have a preference for either one? Not really. A senior embalmer just retired from the home, so I'm taking more embalming work lately, just until a recruit comes in. I already dressed up Miss Jane this morning, since in the first letter she requested a viewing be held. He delivered the last sentence in a gentler tone, unsure of how sensitive sudden mentions of Jane might affect Chao. He doesn't particularly react, so you continue. But it's good work. I chose this line because I felt a calling to it. What about you, Chao? What made you choose your job? I won't be too paranoid to work as a mortician. I do not have the bravery to do so. He subtly perks up at the sound of his name. I've always had an urge to preserve and understand what I like. Is that foreshadowing? Are you going to preserve me? Since childhood, I've always had an interest in plants, no matter their kind. That and blood makes me a little squeamish, so I can't study far in the field of animals or the human body. But if I ever get an interest in either one, I think I'd like to pick up the necessary knowledge too. It's never too late to learn. I agree. About Jane Avery. How long have you been working in Collivan? Around a year now. You? Almost 2 years in Heavenshade. I felt welcome from the start though, the other staff are really nice. Same here. Good co-workers always help make the job worthwhile. You nod in agreement. What about you and Miss Jane? Were you two familiar with each other? A little actually. She's a benefactor and frequent visitor of the museum. She was a busy woman, but in her free time she'd visit the museum sometimes. She came to recognize us herbaria staff. How long have you known her? Only after I took the job, so less than a year. We talk about the museum, its collections or mundane things. We're not personally close, but she was bright and a little intimidating. In a good way. I had no idea she had an illness though. Was she in hospital? Yeah, her body came in from the hospital across the street. Any idea how long she was there? According to our employees, she had stayed in the hospital for weeks. Her death was quite sudden, but unsurprising, they said. Any visitors or family members so far? No, only her employees. My friend has contacted her son though. I see. It's natural causes then? Yes, by cardiac arrest. Chao nods, seemingly finished with his line of questioning. Well, let's meet her wishes as best as we can then. Of course. I didn't know Miss Jane at all, so she most likely heard about me from someone else, but I'm honored that she asked for me specifically. Your tone and words are a product of both experience and genuine empathy. You've exchanged your condolences with Chao via text, but talking directly is always different. About him. You point your chin at his helmet, resting on the back of his chair. You ride a motorcycle. Can I ride you? Sure do. Saves a lot of time and money and it's fun. I'll show you fun riding. When I need a refresher, I take it out on night rides. I'll show you a night ride. Mate, shut up, Yinny. What else do you do in your free time? I enjoy photography. I usually take pictures of things I'm interested in, so plans again. I consider my job a hobby too. When I preserve or log a specimen, I try my best to learn as much as possible about them. Keeps them alive that way in history and knowledge. You seem very passionate about your work. Of course, it's special to me. It fulfills something, that's for sure. Would you like to fulfill me? What about you, Yinny? What do you think about what you do? It's both personal and impersonal, I suppose. You're assisting someone, or at least their loved ones, through death. The last stop, yet you never know the deceased personally. I know them through what is left of them. Not sure what to think about that. In a way that's not too different from his job either, you think? You wonder if that was a little too much, but Chao eyes you with a satisfactory glint. I understand what you mean. No more questions. Both of you finish your meals and the conversation automatically returns to the job at hand. You review the content of the second letter together. Okay, so... Miss Jane stated that she would like to be buried. After a 3-day viewing, starting tomorrow, she'll be buried at her family graveyard outside the city, attended only by her son. During the viewing, she wants to feature various specimens representing all of the museum's wings. The choice of specimens is given to the curation teams, and she wants to be displayed in a glass coffin. Oh, that's a little strange. Chao looks at you with slight concern. Isn't the viewing supposed to be tomorrow? Is this enough time? I think we have 1 or 2 glass coffins. I'll ask right now to check. You take out your phone to quickly text Ash. Jane Avery's request is on the more unconventional side. 3-day viewing displayed like a museum exhibition, then a burial. No ceremony, memorials, or eulogies. It's not disallowed, but considering her direct summon of you, you can't help but be curious. You look back up to Chao. What about the specimens? Can you get permits and transportation fast enough? I'll try, but if it's with Miss Jane, I'm pretty sure the museum will treat it urgently. Also, if you don't mind, can I keep the letter? I'm sure the other staff would like to see it too. I'll type up the content and send it to you when I get back to the museum. That's fine. If there isn't anything else, let's go now. Let's gather your belongings and pay at the counter. Chao opens the door for you on your way out. You're going straight to Heavenshade after this. Yeah, but I need to drop by my apartment first. It's nearby, so I'll just walk. Are you going back to the museum? Yeah, I'd like to start discussing with the team as soon as possible. Hard time and a spare helmet though. Wanna ride instead? On you or on the bike? I drive carefully, so don't worry. He walks towards the motorcycle, its body dark and shiny, reflecting in the city in the form of bloated glass buildings. A tempting offer from a sweet young man. Sure, why the heck not? Sure, thanks a lot, Chao. You slip on the helmet he hands you. It's a perfect fit, but your hand fusses with clicking on the strap buckle. Chao watches with slight amusement from the seat of his vehicle. May I? Yes, please. His hands are careful not to touch your face. They close your helmet's buckle with a satisfying click. The strap tightens under your chin and he steps back, putting on his own helmet. You take your seat behind Chao carefully, legs touching ever so slightly with his. At such proximity, you notice a slight flowery fragrance his jacket carries. Where to, Yinny? You tell me your apartment name. I can tell you the way we go, or do you prefer a map? No, it's okay. The vehicle's engine comes to life and Chao cracks his neck to the side. I know where it is. What? That was a bit scary. I know there's a double meaning in that. Day 1 of Jane Avery's viewing. The morning light bathes the funeral home in woody interior. The next 3 days will be spent by you arranging and overseeing the viewing of Jane Avery. Everything's prepped and ready for this morning. You enter the viewing room for a last-minute check. In the center lies Jane's embalmed body. The natural state of her features is sharp and severe, commanding attention even in slumber. You've had more than enough time to survey the woman's face in the morgue, and yet, when you've laid her in the glass coffin, one feels compelled to look even longer. Surrounded by rich flowers and fabric, at the moment this room looks more like a museum rather than a funeral home. The room is elegantly decorated and successfully adorned with various displays of plants, both living and preserved, courtesy of the museum. Condolence gifts and flowers line the area, all coming from business partners. You've done this countless times before, but the circumstances of you being requested by name by a stranger gives you a heightened sense of attentiveness. It won't be long until guests start coming in. It's time to focus. There's a moderate amount of people milling in and out of the room today, including people from bodies to which she was a patron. Both higher-ups and staff from Cullivan Museum of Natural History will pay their respects to the late woman. You mostly stand by the landing area between the hall and the viewing room. No sign of the sun yet. Yinny, you turn and face a tall man with black hair and a familiar face. Owen? Hey! Owen Weaver, your high school friend. Not the closest, but you had an amiable relationship with the man. I bet Owen's kinda hot. You last met at a reunion a few months ago. Fatigue is more apparent on his pale face compared to back then. It is you. Hey, you the one handling this? I am. Do you need anything? Jane's my mum. The girl named Ash said to talk to you since you're the one in charge of her viewing. Oh, I see. My condolences, Owen. Thanks. A second passes as both of you think of what to say. He shifts on his feet, beady eyes observing the unfamiliar halls. Remember what we, talked about a few months ago? At the reunion. You nod, pausing to recall the details. A few months ago. You step outside the restaurant, the noise of chatter almost immediately dissipating into quiet rustles of wind and distant waves. You inhale as much fresh air as possible before anyone notices you're gone. Reunions aren't particularly unbearable to you, but the noise can get overwhelming. Not to mention the distance it took you to get here. In the distance, the ocean glitters in preparation for the sinking sun. You find yourself smiling a little to yourself. Hey, Yandere. Oh, hey, Owen. Want one? He takes out a pack of cigarettes and offers them to you. No thanks. He lights his cigarette with a flick. The flame burns the white nub crimson, then pale as it turns to ash. Owen takes a drag and faces away from you when he blows away the smoke. Side by side, both of you face the street and the slim sliver of ocean ahead. Back then, the man was well built as a member of the sports team. A fact that didn't change over the years, you notice. He's grown broader, with tattoos on his sculpted forearms. There is a manly, attractive maturity to his face. Pleasant silence falls on the street for a while. Occasional chirping of birds and rustling leaves smatter the air. You're a mortician, right? Can I ask you something? Sure. Ever had a family member or someone you know? For funeral arrangements or embalming? Sure. Several times. Are you not too sad about it? I get sad at the job more often than you think. But I always tell myself that I'm helping preserve the memory of them, giving them one last send-off. It's harder when I know that person, but a job is a job. Memory. Another silence descends. You give a sideways glance to see him with furrowed brows, mouth slightly open as if wanting to say something. You notice how his nail bed's dry, with his index and middle finger ever so slightly stained with nicotine. If I can ask, did you lose someone recently? A short silence. He inhales a deep hiss of smoke and lets it out into the yellow afternoon sky. Yeah? No? She's still alive, but not in my life anymore. She's not in good condition. Last I heard, her time's probably coming soon. You can say I lost her a long, long time ago. But what memories are to keep if I never had any? You face his side profile. His eyes drop from the horizon to the grey asphalt. His voice comes out weaker than you expected. I barely know anything about her. It's like she's already dead. You school your expression, betraying nothing. It's given in your field of work. Words that would be too raw, painful, or cruel in other conversations. Perhaps there is comfort in talking to someone like you. So close to the edge of life that there is an urge to confess what the rest of the world would not hear. Before you can give a response, Owen soundlessly laughs with a shake of his head. Man, what the hell am I saying? My bad, Yandere. I've been out of it lately. No, it's alright. Your kind expression placates him. He runs a hand down his hair as he looks the other way to blow another puff of smoke. I feel like someone's staring at me whenever I go out. It's getting on my nerves. My money's on it being one of her business partners. The last part felt like it was spoken to himself, so you don't feel the need to pry. You alright? Fine. Sorry again. He sighs, seemingly regaining his senses once more. When I lose my mind one day and bite the dust, you dibs on me, okay? I'm booking you in advance. With a grin and something morbid out of his mouth. He looks more like his younger self. A memory of simpler times that led you to this moment. What cig do you want? I'll put one in your pocket. That's allowed? Of course. His broad shoulders shake in silent laughter. You want to commit this moment to memory. You have a feeling it'll matter. In the light of the setting sun, there's a severity in his features. Features that, now that you know it, bear a stark resemblance to the late Jane Avery. The same pale skin, sunken eyes, and black hair. Was she the person you mentioned? The one and only. What are the odds? Her office employees knew the news first, not me. He chuckles, but you see the unmistakable emotion behind his eyes. Hurt. Anyways, how long are you going to be here? All day, until the burial. Okay, me too then. He glances at the other visitors, an awkward look on his face. Clearly he doesn't want to go in yet. You decide to give him a small distraction. How are you? Feeling better than last time? Last time? Owen's brows furrowed to recall. Oh, well, I don't think anyone's creeping on me anymore or some shit. Wait, my bad. My bad. No cursing here. You lightly laugh. Preferably, yeah. You and Owen continue small talk, catching up on things the past few months. The conversation flows naturally, even occasionally bringing up stale years-old high school drama. You remind yourself to talk to your old friends more. A quick flutter of pink and green catches the corner of your eye. Oh, wait, Owen, you should meet. But when you face the corner again, there are no traces of the man. Owen turns his head to look in the same direction. Never mind, he's gone. I'll introduce you two to each other some other time. Cool. Once again, he eyes the entrance to the viewing room. Guess I should go. I recognize some of these snobs. Go ahead. You stay in the landing for a while, greeting some guests. Someone requested for a package to be moved in from the lobby to the area, so you head over to the hall once more. Yinny appears by your side, his usual gentle smile eased on his face. Chao, hi. I saw you earlier. Where'd you go? I was looking around, sorry. This place is huge. Right? It's an old building, so the layout is confusing too. Where are you going? I need to carry a flower stand from the lobby to the viewing room. Can I help? That would be great, thank you. Not a problem. Does this count as your day off from the museum? They gave me days off for the viewing since my name is on Jane's request list, along with you. I'll be helping around, so tell me if there's anything else you need. Thank you, Chao. You're welcome. Who were you talking to earlier? He doesn't look like staff. Oh, I forgot to tell you. He's Jane's son, Owen Weaver, my high school friend. Really? I know, we last met at a reunion a few months ago, so I still recognize him. Has Jane ever mentioned the son to you? Chao lets out a non-committal hum as you both reach the flower stand. Don't remember. He seemingly goes to work, lifting the stand from the ground with a strength that exceeds his build. Chao is of an average build, but he seems to be on the more slender side. You've only ever seen him wear baggy or loose clothes so far, but it can be seen through his neck, arms, and hands. Not that you'd admit you've been paying any attention. With Chao and the flower arrangement in tow, you head to the viewing room. It feels nice to break the routine, you think. Working and doing your daily work with someone new for a change. You place the stand just in time for Ash to pass by the hall in front of the viewing. Ash, yay! And you are... Chao Chen. You may call me Chao. Oh, the one from Cuddle then. I'm Ash, nice to meet you. How are you liking our place so far? It's really big. How old is this building? Dunno, you'd have to ask Jarek for that. Our manager. Now, Prism Warden. You give Ash a light tap on the shoulder. Bad-mouthing your superior in front of a guest doesn't do wonders for your nerves. Luckily, Chao laughs. We have this too back at Collivan. What do you do there? I'm a botanical curator. My job is quite flexible. I'll take on anything in the museum as long as I'm able to. Oh, cool. What about you? What about you? Are you a mortician like Yinny too? Nope, I work in administration and in counseling. I am not a fan of the actual embalming, the receiving or refrigerating rooms as far as I usually go. What type of rooms are there here? Chao refers the question to you, eyes brimming with curiosity. When a body is sent in, it goes to the receiving room, refrigerating room, then to the embalming room. Sometimes the latter two are in one space. There's also a prep room before the embalming room, accessible from both the refrigerating room and the hall. The young man's face is set to a contemplative stare. You make eye contact with Ash, and she makes a teasing raise of the eyebrow. Before you can silently raise yours in inquisition, she claps her hands lightly. Anyway, I should go. See you guys tomorrow? Yeah, see you. Nice meeting you, Ash. She slaps your shoulder as she walks by, narrowly missing your swing in return. Chao laughs at the sight. I'm sorry, she's quite... Well, don't be, I'm happy to meet your friend. You smile at his enthusiasm. The rest of the day goes by smoothly. Visitors clear out and you wrap up, making sure to lock everything in place. As you walk home, you can't help but think of the events of the day. Chao had to leave earlier in the afternoon due to an urgent delivery in the museum. You didn't miss the way he deflated after that call. He reassured you he'll be back tomorrow. Then there's Owen. What were the odds? Back then, he'd always been the enigmatic type. Not unfriendly, but still difficult to pass. You always thought that something was bearing heavy in his mind. Was it Jane then? When was the last time you really mingled like in your school days? You had friends and you still do now, yet the weight of adulthood seems to make things more difficult. People used to be more honest, more readable and easier to understand. In a way, that's what you appreciate about the dead. They hide nothing, bearing themselves bare in front of the undertaker. In some strange, unacceptable way, you wonder what it feels like. Day 2 of Jane Avery's viewing. Another day has started. It's bright as usual from the tall windows of the funeral home. You're getting used to Chao's presence. He helps you throughout the viewing, even entertaining questions from the guests about the displayed museum pieces. Owen keeps coming in and out with a pained look on his face. While he's in the viewing room, he either sits in silence or talks to what you assume to be distant relatives or business contacts. You haven't had the time to talk to him again or introduce him to Chao. When unoccupied, you talk to Chao. You find yourself easily lost in small pleasant conversations with him. Do you always wear black during the job? Most of the time, but not always. Different cultures may use different colors. I once had a family ask if I could wear the brightest colors I had, so I did. Must be interesting, interacting with so many people every day. I don't think I can do that. I'll get tired easily. To that, you smile gently at him. It can get tiring, but at least it's never boring. There's always something new going on. An elderly woman pops in from the entrance. She looks around warily until her eyes fall on you and Chao. A smile crinkles her sun-kissed skin. Chao, dearie! Geraldine, did you come here alone? My son drove me here. Is everyone already inside? The team and Joshua, yes. Okay, and who are you, sweetie? A friend of Chao's. My name is Yinny, ma'am. I'm the funeral director in charge. Nice to meet you. I wasn't personally close to her, but she was always interested in our work. It made me happy. You offer her a genuine smile and she beams even wider. With a strong grip, she gives your arm a friendly squeeze. Ah, what a cute girl. I think she's your type, Chao. Didn't you tell me once? Oh, Geraldine. I think Joshua's waiting for you inside. Chao quickly and gently ushers the lady into the room. When he returns, his eyes avoid yours. With his ears still slightly red at the tips, he can't help but tease. Oh, sorry about that. I'm one of the younger stars, so she can get really motherly. I think it's sweet. Are you that close with your co-workers? Close enough. I wanted the job purely for my interests, but turns out it has other blessings. What about you, Yinny? You look like you're good friends with Ash. His subtle excitement shows when he's talking about his interest to you. It's a pattern you start to notice and find quite cute. I am. She's treated like everyone's little sister here. I can see why. Geraldine reappears on the landing. Chao, dearie, I'm sorry. Can you help me find the restroom? This way. The two museum staff go down the hall and you're back to your task. The afternoon rolls in and you stifle a yawn as you think about the day. There's a pattern. Most of the people who came here seem to be business partners and colleagues, with some distant families here and there. What life has Jane led? Does she have anyone close in her life? Did she disown Owen? You never publicly verbalize these questions, but there's something especially somber about the whole affair. There are many flower stands and condolence gifts from companies and executives, and their presence doesn't cover the lack of intimacy the actual viewing has. Not the first time, but something about Jane Avery and her peculiar situation pulls you in more than you think of. You wonder if there's a deeper meaning in why she specifically requested you and Chao. The enigmatic and rosy botanical curator. You can't fully put your finger on him yet, but he's a comforting presence so far. It's too soon to jump to conclusions. Fatigue starts to seep into your bones. Tomorrow's the burial. This is the last night that Jane Avery's body will be above ground. She's an enigma that's been in the back of your mind. You wonder if her secrets will be brought to the ground along with her. You turn off the lights in the viewing room, giving the funeral home security guard a nod before leaving into the night. Oh god, is weird stuff gonna happen now? Day 3 of Jane Avery's viewing. The viewing comes to an end after 3 days. The visitors are considerably fewer than on previous days, but they still gather in the same way that gives you an odd feeling in your gut and to clear out. The guys are already front. Is it okay if I just guide them here now? Yeah, thanks. Be right back. You give a final sweeping of the room, and then all its lush decorations before they be hauled back to the Colvin Museum of National History. Save for the centerpiece, of course, the ever-still body of Jane Avery. Hey, Yinny. Owen, where have you been? Smoke break. His gaze is fixed to the glass coffin as he stands on the threshold of the room. There's still time if you want to stay with her. The Colvin guys will be clearing out the decorations in a minute, but don't mind them. Owen squints, dropping his gaze to the floor below the foot of the coffin instead. Oh no. It's like she's still judging me. Insane how she always looks like that, even back then. You did some master work. Looks like she's sleeping. Thank you. The man's dark gaze continues to bore into the room, not daring to penetrate it with his presence. He lets out a sigh and steps inside without a word. You avert your gaze back to the landing area into the hall, not wanting to disturb him. Chao's crew of museum staff has arrived. He pauses a bit and sees that Owen's inside, but instructs him to clear out anyway. It strikes you a bit how solemn they look, perhaps out of respect for the home and the situation. It's just you and Chao again. Both of you stare into the room framed by the wide, open doorways. Owen. The staff clears out the exhibit as Owen stands at the side of the coffin with his back to you, far away. Just him. Yeah, just like the letter's request. These are Jane's assistants, I guess, but they're waiting at the lobby. Is the burial right after this? Yeah, my friend will be handling it, so we're done after this. I see. Hey. Owen steps out of the room. You notice that this will be the first time in 3 days that you get to see them talk to each other. He extends a stiff hand, to which Chao calmly grasps back. Owen Weaver. Chao Chen from Colvin. Nice to finally talk to you. The normal time for a handshake has elapsed, but Owen tightens his grip on the shorter man's hand. So Chao Shang, have we met before? Not formally, but I did see you during the viewing. I was there every day. Before that, months ago. Sorry, I don't think so. Chao tries to retract his hand again, harder this time. Be honest. I am being honest. I've never seen you before. You were there, in front of my apartment. Almost hit you, didn't I? What are you talking about? Uh-oh. Owen's face contorts into angered confusion. The man drops the grip on the other's hand and steps forward tauntingly. Don't lie to me. You're one of my mom's hirelings, aren't you? Well, this is not good. Some of the staff milling in and out of the viewing room start to notice the noise. You have to step in before this escalates. I'm gonna defend him. This is not the first time a family member has lost their temper in the funeral home. You've learned to understand it. Sorry, please, calm down, Owen. Don't yell here. He seems to deflate a little, a pained grimace now on his face. I think I've met him before. Have you, Chao? You look at him seriously. You hit whatever he answers will be the truth. No, I'm really sorry. It must have been someone else. Yinny, do you think he's telling the truth? You answer what you want to believe and what your gut holds on to most. Yes. Are you sure you met him before? The man's fist clenches on his side, his shoulders shaking. Dark eyes, so utterly similar to Jane's, lock onto you. Chao notices it, his face immediately ticking from confusion to agitation. He takes a half step between you and Owen. Before either of you could speak, Owen looks around. The tension in his body dissolves in a slump. A fragile look of confusion on his face brings forth an image of a much older person. His eyes drop once again, exactly like how it did between the slithering oceans and rustling leaves a few months ago. Owen runs his hand through his hair. His eyes flit left and right, and you see the heavy rise and fall of his chest. Never mind. My bad, Chao-shang. Been feeling horrible lately. With, my mom dying and stuff. He says so non-committally. Chao's face is stiff, refusing to show a reaction. It's okay. My condolences. Something is so wrong. Sorry, Yinny. Thanks for all your help. This time, he looks up enough to catch your gaze, and you see the restlessness behind his now controlled words. I'll wait in the house in the lobby. Bye. Before you can say anything, he briskly leaves the area. He turns to Chao with a questioning look. What was that? Why is he so sure he knew you? I don't know either. I swear I hadn't seen him before. I didn't even know Miss Jane had a son before this. She never told you. She's not that close with any of us curators, at least not that I know of. Does this happen often? People getting agitated? Yes, but it's understandable. They're grieving. I'm a little worried for Owen, to be honest. I can't imagine having the mental strength to deal with that every day. You're great. The words leave his mouth in such a genuine tone that a slight heat warms your cheeks. The empty hallways feel a little smaller now. Thanks, you too. Preserving and building knowledge for other people, I think that's amazing too. I'd love to see your work directly, and you mean it even more when a smile blooms on Chao's face. Why not come tomorrow? We'll be returning the borrowed specimens at noon. You should come with me. Really? I'm in. He lets out a satisfied chuckle. See you tomorrow then. Everything's gonna go to shit, isn't it? The day comes to an end once more. The viewing is over after 3 days and you're unsure how to feel. Jane must have been moved to a wooden coffin and buried, but an invisible string tugs your mind to everything that happened this week. You're excited for tomorrow's visit to the museum. You just hope that you don't get any sudden calls to the funeral home. Through your apartment window, the moon is poised on the ink-dark sky. Your sleep is dreamless tonight. The next day, you arrive at the Cuddle Museum of Natural History, courtesy of a ride from Chao. It was spent with small pleasant talks, extending until now when both of you step into the marble floors of the building. Any pets? None, my apartment doesn't allow them. My turn. What's your comfort food? Egg tarts. We're here. And Chao waves his hand in an arc, proudly presenting the grand room. Veils of light accentuate the carvings on its stone pillars. Countless dry plant specimens are displayed in glass boxes, arranged based on type and history. A group of schoolchildren on a field trip scatter themselves between them. They chatter and occasionally get reminded by supervising adults not to touch the glass. Something that you see is still not obeyed by a giggling group in the corner. You smile at their cheer. Glancing at Chao, you see that he's already looking at you. Wanna stay a while? It's okay, let's go. You can take a look after we're done. Follow me, Yinny. And Chao leads you to a slightly hidden hallway, and into an unlocked staff door. Inside is a storage room. The air is clean and dry and a little chilly to the skin. Rows and rows of pristine cabinets and tables line the room. It's a little clinical, a far cry from the museum's classic interior. You look around with hands behind your back, careful not to touch anything. Welcome to the botanical curator's nest. My friend already transported and unloaded the borrowed specimen, so now my job is to sort it back and report it. I'll show you lots of things, be ready. His smile is contagious, you think. He places his bag, the same rattling beast as the one from your first meeting, and gets to work on the packages and cases laid out on a large table. He procures a set of keys from his bag and pops open one of them. From it, his gloved hands pull out a frame almost the size of his torso. The graceful Cypripedium, a cull, or pink lady slippers. It's quite a common orchid, but this one was mounted in the 1850s. I remember this one had the key to shape. It does. Now this one is a Helichrysum stoicus, or shrubby everlasting. It's a lovely little perennial, also common, and was mounted in 1990. Look closer, you can still see the bright spots of yellow. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's there! Chao laughs, a light and gentle sound, and continues to the next one. The lively Narcisseum americanum, or bog asphodel, grows in wetlands and grassy areas. It's considered quite rare, but not by much. This one was mounted in 2002, not an antique but beautiful nonetheless. What's the oldest plant you got there? Well, for dry preservation, we have some things from the 17th century, mostly collections of medicinal plants stored in volumes of books. Can I see? For older collections, we store them in a different room in the museum. That one's not as easily accessible. Alright, but if you want to see it, I'll see what I can do. My manager still owes me a favor. I can ask him later. Oh, you don't have to, I was just curious. You wave your hands in front of you in dismissal, and Chao grins in return. Alright, I'll show you something else that's just as cool later. Is it your windworm? He continues with his work, making sure to entertain you while still returning the items to the racks and logging them with precision. For every admiring oohs and ahs that come out of you, Chao seems to be brighter. That's the last one. Phew. He wipes his brow. A satisfactory smile graces his face as he looks around the racks. You notice a piece of plastic stuck to his hair via static electricity. Take it yourself. You have a... Gingerly, you close the distance and extend your hand to his head. He freezes in a wide-eyed stare but doesn't move an inch. You pluck the piece of plastic, lingering slightly in the proximity, then you step back. It was stuck in your hair. Oh. Thanks, Yandere. Chao's bashful demeanor soon replaces itself with a sort of gentle delight. An enveloping warmth spreads across his smile. You're not sure why he's so happy over the small gesture. You have a guess, but you're keeping it close to your gravely beating heart. Anyway, I have something else to show you. All the things we lent for viewing were pressed and mounted in plants. I have yet to show you the wet specimens, so let's go. Chao leads you to a room filled with a menagerie of fossils, bottles, and other collections. Its design is closer to the museum's public area than its previous storages. Warm lighting blasts dark wood from the inside and outside. It betrays the room's cold temperature. You can't help but think of Jane Avery in her glass coffin. Did Miss Jane go on storage tours like this too? Yes, were you the one touring her? Not always. Sorry, Yandere. I don't feel like talking about her right now. I hope you understand. Oh, of course. Sorry. No need to apologize. You bite your tongue. He was quite open about Jane before, so you assumed it would be a regular conversation. Luckily, he quickly hops on another subject. The area isn't open for public yet, and we're still figuring things out. That's why the lineup is kinda random. It's really pretty. Thank you. What do you think about toxic plants? It sounds a little scary. That's a good part. Chao leads you to a glass cabinet in the corner, visibly more secure than the rest with its extra locks. He takes out his keys and crouches to start unlocking them. Is a bigger warning label not needed here? Nope, no one will make direct contact with the plants, let alone consume it. It's extra secure. As if proving his point, he definitely moves to the next locks. Chao's hands, now gloved again, pulls out a jar but quickly hides it behind his back with an excited grin. He leads you to a nearby table where he gently places the jar. This is the Lilium cupiditas, or the Heart's Undertaker. The beetle was initially known for its preservative qualities, being used in embalming around the 1500s. There are also records of localized superstition from that time, caused by people working with these flowers, but well, it's a toxin. The Undertaker's deadliest parts are its petals and roots, the natural toxins most concentrated there. You bend down closer to see a pale white flower submerged in liquid. Its petals are reminiscent of a lily, the ends curling ever so slightly at the peak. Its stems and leaves are a peculiar shade of dark brown, nearly indistinguishable from black, but most striking of all is its splatter of pink. It's deathly still. You find yourself wanting to hold your breath. You glance at Chao, who's smiling at you with a tilt of his head. Is it rare? Maybe. It reminds me of you, actually. That's why I wanted to show you. How so? It's in the name. You're an undertaker yourself, and I find you to be quite the interesting woman. He looks away and you can tell in his eyes that he wants to say more. Your call. Ask more about the flower. You want to know more about it. A playful smile appears on your face. Anything else? Well, it's usually known for its unique look, but it's way more interesting than that. Under its speckled petals lies an unexpected properties, proving its charm inside out. You laugh affectionately, looking down to hide his slightly reddening cheeks. You sure have a way with words, Chao. I like the speckles too. I've never seen anything like it. The live ones are prettier. They're very vivid. Chao puts a finger on the jar's cool metal cap, tracing circles on it lightly. You don't miss the way he's been handling the specimens. Gently and thoughtfully, you imagine how that would feel on skin. Skin that's warm and yours. As if swatting the image out of your head, you blurt out the first thing you can think of. You look like a flower yourself. Huh? Your hair and clothes, the way you talk and move, it reminds you of a flower. And that came out way goofier than you meant it to be. But you stand your ground and push down any buds of embarrassment. Thank you. I didn't know you see me that way. It's cute. For that, I hereby declare the Heart's Undertaker as my favorite plant of the month. You have yet to stop the smile on your face, now widened by the warmth of his voice. Only for the month. It depends. Would the Undertaker herself let me study her more? For research purposes, of course. Of course, for the curator's research. You and Chao laugh, and for the first time in this back and forth bashfulness, it seems to catch up to both of you at the same time. Are you done looking at it? You nod, and Chao picks up the jar. He strides to the cabinet and returns it. Several clicks resound through the quiet room, reaching your beating heart. After tidying up, both of you leave the storage rooms. Under the glow of the museum lights, Chao's smile seems to brighten like no other. On stage 2, floating. That does not sound good. Chao Shengchen. a botanical curator from the Collivan Museum of Natural History and the current tenant of your mind. Behind the moments of occasional bashfulness, you come to realize that Chao exudes a confidence you'd like to see more of. He sent you a picture of his lunch yesterday, with his face in the corner and hand brought up in a peace sign. It's been 1 or 2 weeks since the Jane Avery job wrapped up. Yet, unlike their usual one-time job partners, it seems both of you still want each other's company. Nothing too intense, just occasional texting. Starts with light chatting, and sometimes you send each other pictures of your daily activities. It's slightly embarrassing, you think? Like a high school girl having a crush for the first time. But you haven't met him since he showed you around the museum storage rooms. You wish he would just appear, right in front of you. One day, afternoon, you open your eyes, arms stiff from the weight of your head. The world comes into focus as you blink and rub your eyes. There are rows of bookshelves, reading tables. In front of you sits Chao, looking up from a book. I'm sorry, Giddy. I saw you sleeping with your stuff out in the open, but I didn't want to disturb you. I wanted to look after it until you woke up. You look sheepish. You, however, must look even more so. Quick scan of the table in front of you shows an open laptop, several work-related papers, and your ID-holding lanyard. You quickly put the last item around your neck, not wanting to lose it again. Thanks, Chao. Sorry for the bother. No. I'm surprised to see you, though. You come here often. His expression immediately turns to one of embarrassment, having just realized what he said. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. In a rare clumsy gesture, he rubs the back of his head, placating your worries about being the only one nervous. It has been a while since you last met Chao. The sound of your chuckle seems to ease the young man. Usually every Tuesday. I didn't expect to find you here either. I only come here occasionally when I'm off work early. Isn't it a bit far from the museum? I like the side of the city more. How come I've never seen you here before? I usually sit in the single cubicles upstairs. It's full today, not sure why. How'd you know it was me anyway? I had my head down. I recognize you from a mile away. I know I've been talking, but it's nice to finally see you again, Yinny. There it is again. A gentle confidence that comes in whenever he sees Swit. An obvious attempt at wooing, yet a far cry from the crassness you've had your fair share of seeing when others do so. Slow and careful, the trickle of a watering can on a deer garden bud. You feel your cheeks warm. Me too, Chao. Sorry for not arranging a meet-up sooner. I've been catching up at the museum, but today's a little slower. It's okay. You don't need to apologize. I've been really busy too. How many tours did they make you handle this past week? 4. Still far from your bet. Not sure if I should be upset or happy for you. Happy, please. My social battery is barely surviving the week. What about you? I just received an on-call this morning. 1 in the morning. You jokingly groan and he laughs. Is that why you're so sleepy today? Yeah, I'm used to it, but still gets too much sometimes. You tilt your laptop screen inwards, peeking past it to the book slipped between Chao's fingers. What if I slip between his fingers? Wordlessly, he raises it to your eye level. His rosy gaze searches your face as it falls into recognition and amusement. You could just ask me, you know. Chao smiles at the book's cover, beige slab with Embalmer's Handbook, Basic Anatomy, emblazoned in deep mahogany across it. Consider it preparatory reading for Miss Yinny's class. Oh? Since when do I have classes? Just now, when you offer to answer all my questions. You roll your eyes affectionately and his smile widens. But seriously, are you interested in embalming? I am. Whenever I'm here on break, I like to read books on random topics. Since my time at the funeral home and with you, I got a new perspective on a lot of things. Really? Like what? Like, preservation as a form of love? That does not sound good. I mean, that's what I do in my job too, but it's definitely different from what you do. You get to know someone, care for them, and you want to keep what you can of them, even beyond the grave. I know your job is much more than embalming, but that's the most exciting part for me. It's like people want to buy time, no? I feel like the deceased is still alive, even for just a few days longer. The words hang in the air. Your job has many ways to look at it. Scary, respectable, sacred, tedious, mechanical. You too have experienced all those at least once in your career, but you've always liked the more tender views of it. Beneath your scalpel and above the cold tray lies an illusion of life you're trying to keep even for a minute longer. Sorry if it was offensive, No, not at all. Sorry, I was overthinking. I'm honored. You have a good understanding of what I do. But you're wrong about one thing. You say it kindly, wanting to share rather than correct. Chao raises an inquisitive eyebrow. You get to know someone, care for them, and you want to keep what you can of them even beyond the grave. I don't actually know the people I handle, and they don't know me, which is normal of course, but there is a dissonance I think only people like me experience. I do all these procedures. I know their tattoos, scars, and everything. I'm quite literally sending them off to be buried or cremated. You think of the amount of times you've become lost in the thought morgue, lost in thought in the morgue. The family said they were a rock climber, no wonder their hands are calloused. The bunch of faint scars on their knees must have had a rowdy childhood. Defiant smile lines with children sobbing their eyes out in the lobby. A beloved grandfather. If I have to be completely honest, what about you? What would they say about you? And there is a desire in your heart to understand and to be understood for once. For me, it's incredibly honorable. How far will you go? And incredibly lonely. You look back at Chao, enraptured by your little explanation. He tilts his head ever so slightly, hanging on to every word like a lifeline. Was that oversharing? You really hope it wasn't. Suddenly, self-conscious, you look around the library. No one is seated near your table and you kept your voices low enough so far. It shouldn't be an issue. I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me. I'll be thinking about it. A wave of relief washes over you. Your words seem to make a good impression on him. In an obvious gesture, he skids his book away from him. You're way more entertaining than this book. You find yourself scoffing in good nature. Well, my class does not include anatomy courses, so you better pick that up again. He laughs, a sweet sound that swells your pride whenever you earn it. The air lightens immediately. The conversation, though back in its casual state, still leaves you with an ever-growing appreciation for Chao and his attention. In the comfortable silence, both of you seem to notice that you've absolutely not touched your files since you woke up. Are you gonna work again? No, I'm beat. What are you doing after this? Nothing, but since you're here, there's a souvenir store up north. It has a photo booth. Wanna check it out together? Yes, I was already mentally preparing for you if you say no. Come to think of it, it is pretty sudden, and we have work tomorrow. Your words rise and fall in a teasing tone. He plays along, shoulders drooping in a surprisingly expressive manner. Another new Chao expression unlocked, you think warmly. Oh, okay, Yinny, I guess I'll go alone. But since you asked really nicely, let's go. A small laugh escapes the two of you. Then should we go now? It's nearly sunset. He returns his book as you gather your belongings. Together you step outside. Pinkish streaks scar the sky, a sign of the sun's incoming rest. People mill about on the sidewalks and a volume of vehicles starting to form on the road. You settle yourself on the back of Chao's motorcycle. He always seems to bring an extra helmet, you think. Around 5 minutes later, you arrive at the destination. The analog photo booth is snuggled in a well-lit store, private and warm. You notice it at the exact time its curtains flutter in the air. A boy runs outside, followed by a girl. He raises a photo strip high above his head, making a frown and try to reach for it. Hey, let me look at the result. I wasn't ready, you'll make fun of me. I won't. The lively boy lowers his hand, cheeky smile still plastered on his face. His companion takes the photo and looks at it closely. The more her eyes go down, the wider her smile becomes. You look dumb. Anything to make you smile, my lady. He flourishes a bow, and his companion clicks her tongue affectionately, ruffling his thick hair. You're making people stare. Embarrassment shows on the boy's face as you lock eyes. He sheepishly takes the other's hand and scurries away. So full of energy. It's cute. Makes you miss high school a little. Do you still keep in contact with your high school friends? Not intensely. I don't think the others like Owen does either. Chao opens his mouth to say something but refrains. Nothing. We should get tokens first. Not wanting to linger at the entrance too long, you purchase a token from the cashier and head straight to the booth. It's cozy, curtained in velvet, with a leather chair barely enough for you two. You sidle up next to Chao, arms touching. You've been here before. I'm a regular at the store, but I have no one to try the booth with until now. You avert your gaze, and he does the same. And it occurs to you both that this might be the closest your faces have ever been. The booth is small, your thighs are touching. It feels different than when it happened on his motorcycle. Chao holds back a cough. I'll start it. After inserting the token, the timer starts. It takes 4 shots in total, with only a few seconds in between. You and Chao laugh as you struggle to pose in time. It seems you're both still a little awkward with each other in a sweet way. You exit the booth the same way the teenagers from earlier did, happy and blushing. We should really prepare some poses next time. It can't be that bad. We'll see in a few minutes. You and Chao stand beside the booth, waiting for the developed film to fall in the tray. What was it that you wanted to say before? Oh, that. If you don't mind me asking, you close with Owen? Not really. He's never been the approachable type, but he's nice to me. We were locked out of school once because we were late and had to climb the back gate. He hoisted me up. He smiles at the anecdote, but he doesn't reach his eyes. Why? Nothing. Just curious. Chao, are you jealous? No. Convincing, but you don't believe it. He's a friend and a client. Nothing more. I know. The tension in his shoulders was quick and released as soon as he sighed. He seems to notice you staring. Sorry. I don't mean to be. Hey, it's okay. I don't mind. Interesting. He's always so collected. One wouldn't easily guess that he'd be the jealous type. But gate climbing, Yinny? I'd love to see that. I'm retired. Sorry. Oh, really? In the shop's comfortable ambience, the idle chatter with Chao feels natural. Suddenly, something in the booth whirs, and Chao pops his head back in the curtains. Aw, cute. Pulling out, he produces a single strip of 4 black and white photos. He holds it up and you look from beside him. Cute. The man chuckles in agreement and points to one of the shots. I wasn't ready in this one. I was laughing. There's a tinge of awkwardness in the way you both position yourselves, but it adds to the charm nonetheless. Chao's smile beams in the monochromatic image. Yours shines just as bright. As if by instinct, you steal a glance at Chao's actual face. His cheeks are rosy, and he looks back at you. Do you want to split the strip? A nod is all you can muster. He procures a small pair of scissors from his bag and splits it in half. Which one do you want? This one. I told you it wasn't ready. I think it's cute. Before he can move it out of your reach, you take the strip from his hands. Hey, I'm keeping this. Fine, as long as you're happy. You spend some time browsing the gift shop. The sky is getting darker on the horizon, past the tall city buildings. You feel signs of drowsiness too. Chao takes you home and you bid him goodbye at your apartment door. After a good shower, you reunite with your bed. You fall into a happy dream. You can't remember what it is though. So far, everything seems fine. What could go wrong? Everything, apparently. The next morning, you don't have pending work today and you stretch your arms comfortably. The scent of freshly washed bed sheets invites you to stay longer under the blanket. Yesterday's events come back to you. You can see the photo booth strip on your table. The warmth creeps back to your cheeks. Getting to know Chao has been a welcome addition to your day-to-day life. Despite the Colvin Museum being a bit far from your side of the city, it seems Chao does a lot of his activities here. Well, more opportunities to see each other then. As the clock ticks further, you finally gather the strength to leave the embrace of the bed. You head over to your laptop as the picture re-enters your mind again. There's much more about Chao you don't know yet, and you have a feeling that there's way more to him than what meets the eye. A little sleuthing won't hurt. Everyone's done this to the object of their affection at least once, right? You open a browser and type Chao Xing Chen into the search bar. The first few articles relate to his job as a botanical curator. Some articles on the Colvin Museum of Natural History's official website mention him and the others on various projects. He has a bachelor's degree in biology and took a specialization in botany. A quick delve into the university's academic archives and you find a public version of Chao's published final paper. He wrote a paper on toxicology research. More specifically, phytotoxicology, the study of plant-based toxins and their effects. Oh no! Unfamiliar with the terms and a little too drowsy to pay too much attention, you decide to give the lengthy document a quick skim. Until a familiar image comes into frame, the Heart's Undertaker. A live one, bloomed and vividly mottled. Unlike the counterpart you saw suspended in liquid preservatives, you decide to bookmark the document first. Well, time to dig deeper. Like the note of a spiderweb, another name comes to your mind. You open a new tab and type in Jane Avery. There's a significant difference in the number of results. There are dozens of articles and the Images tab contains plenty of her pictures. As dark-haired and severe as the last day you saw her, though it seems that none of these are personal writings by her or about her life. It's mostly professional reports and articles. She was a businesswoman, working in trade and the economy. Chao's testimony of her being an enjoyer of art and preservation seems to be true. There are photos of her in museums. Curiosity unsatiated, you clicked on the pages at the end of the search browser, hoping to find something with more information. Your wish comes true. Some obscure forums mention distrust in her and her company, and even question her personal relations. About her son, come to think of it, you really don't know why Owen and Jane were so distant. Such thoughts about your client and friend make you reprimand yourself, but you can't help the silent wondering. Before you know it, you look up Owen too. Nothing much catches your eye, but there is a picture of him on a professional network platform. You split the tab in two, pulling up Jane's front-facing photo next to it. Splitting image of raven hair and pale skin, but it's effortless to see where the resemblances end. Where her son has fear in his eyes, the mother has pride. As virulent as the day she lay on your metal bed. Dark eyes, pale skin and a pink that travels from her lips to blotches on her cheeks. You wonder if Owen had a birthmark like that somewhere too. If he were to lay on the morgue. You've always disliked the way your mind travels to the dark, blindly waving its hands to find something. Anything. There's a quiet ringing in your blood. You take a deep breath and close your laptop. The clock is ticking. It doesn't feel long for the sun to color the sky orange and lavender. You spend the day doing your hobbies, occasionally texting Chao in between. What are you working on? It's a secret. I'll show you soon. You put down your phone and stretch. Outside the window, a diorama comes to mind. Small vertical specks walk by the sidewalk, and wheeled vehicles streak the grey asphalt roads. Everyone has their own lives. In solitary moments like these, your thoughts haze in manners you can't pinpoint. Above it all is a desire to share the silence. The familiar ring of your phone breaks the quiet. You nearly jump at the sound of it, a habit you've surprisingly taken up since you started liking Chao. To your disappointment rather than surprise, Ash's voice comes out of the speaker. Hello? Yinny, where are you now? The familiar question, less familiar serious tone of Ash's voice. This is an on-call demand. My apartment. I'm free. We've got a release from the ME, overdose. He's autopsied and the family is signing the papers now. Be here by 5? Alright, see you. Thanks, Yinny. See you. A click on the other end shuts the phone. To be ready on call is part of the job, so you routinely stretch and pick out your usual work attire. Your funeral home doesn't have a uniform, but the usual formula is a white or black formal top, black bottoms, and sometimes a black outer. After making sure you look presentable, you walk to the funeral home. The lobby is bathed in a comfortable glow, as always. It's a quiet day today, and a glance at the schedule board tells you that there's only one wake for later that day. Hey! Hi, Ash. He's coming in a few minutes. Papers are signed and the family is in room 2. She passes you a thin folder filled with the deceased information and copies of the signed consent papers and a plastic bag. Inside is a wedding ring. A thick silver band with a radiant blue gem nestled in the middle. The fiancé wants it to be on the right hand, with a matching blue tie. Your heart clenches with hurt, a fleeting feeling that you learn to gently brush off in these moments. You head over to the prep room halls connected to the garage for easy transport of the bodies. As most morticians you know do, you play music to fill the silence. You spend a quick read of the documents and don a pair of gloves and a simple protective gown for the transfer. It doesn't take long for the transfer team to arrive. From the back of the van, they move the cot into the prep room and move the body bag to the metal prep table. They leave and you're left alone once more. You put on protective equipment from head to toe. The soft whir of exhaust in the walls and the feeling of the rubber mask against your nose bridge. You know it all. Check the identification and papers. Open the bag. Disinfect and start embalming. The situation has played out 100 times, yet every person carries a different life in their body. This situation played out 100 times. Yet every person, a life you buy time for, even if for just a few moments longer. Under the lights of the morgue, the silver ring gleams quietly. A few hours later, the young man's body is embalmed and casketed. You clean up and take a moment to rest in the break room. It's late at night now, but you can't idle for too long. Time to meet the family. You enter the second waiting room. The one Ash told you they were in, and every head swivels to face you. A father, mother, and fiancé. Hello, my name is Yinny. My deepest condolences on your loss. You recite the usual introduction and invite them to your office for further discussions. You talk about tomorrow's viewing. A funeral on the same day and other things that need to be settled. Deep sorrow soaks their faces. In the valleys of their frown, you can still imagine how they would look like normally. The deceased has his mother's nose and his father's eyes. You see many ways that grief takes from people. This is one of the times where it takes their voice. Either there is nothing much to be said anymore, or too much was left unsaid. The parents mostly do the talking, with the fiancée occasionally giving her input regarding what the deceased preferred, colors and style and even decoration. You wonder, quietly, if any of those came up in discussions of their wedding. Miss Yinny. Yes? Did you put the ring on the finger? I did. And the tie? Yes, I'll take you to see him after this. She looks down, fist shaking on her knees. Both of the parents eye her with immense pity. The mother rubs comforting circles on the younger woman's back. Blue was his favorite color. It reminds him of the sky. He worked himself to the bone. He'd been sleep deprived and would forget if he's taken his medicine or not. I tried making trackers and reminding him, but he was so tired that he didn't even look at the bottles carefully. It's not fair. He didn't even get to see the ring. It was supposed to be a surprise for each other. There are so many things I didn't get to say. So many. Her fragile voice breaks into agonizing sobs, grabbing the mother's shoulder to cry upon. I'm sorry I didn't get to make him happy enough. The mother chokes back a sob, stroking her hair. The father's jaw tightens, red eyes holding back immense grief, even after seeing such an expression countless times. Please don't say that, kid. You knew him better than anyone. You were the love of his life. It doesn't get much easier. You look up at the night. Beyond the stark white lights of the morgue, the warm afternoon skies often darken without you noticing. Your body shivers a little under the chill. A heavy sigh escapes your lips, no matter how heavy the day was. You always try to make sure to relax before you go home. Today is no different, and yet you can't shake off its lingering hurt. That previous scene was sad, and now I want to cry. I feel like if it was like me in her position and like my partner and like, touch wood and all that, I don't even know what to do. What does it feel like to be loved like that? You lean on the wall near the funeral home door, looking through your notifications. The memory of Chao makes your heart flee a little. You want to see him again soon. Romantic gestures, rides home, and good company. He's been very sweet to you. While you're sure he knows much of your mutual efforts, you want to know that he's on your mind just as much. If you're free this week, can I see you again? You barely exited the chat room when a new notification dings. Yes, of course. The text bubbles on the left side appear and disappear for a while, and a soft smile rests on your features. I can show you our new project tomorrow if you want. Special sneak peek. I have a viewing tomorrow, maybe the day after? Sure, then we can have dinner at my place. Yeah, I'll drop by in the afternoon when I'm off. Want me to pick you up? No, it's fine. You should focus. I'll text you when I get there tomorrow. See, a weight has been lifted from your mind. Life goes on no matter what. Before walking home, you give your phone a last glance. See, Yinny, get home safe. 2 days later, a weekend never stops a city from its sum of life. Cars pass by and people mill to and fro. You walk in the towering doors of Cuddle Museum of National History, with its marbled floors and sophisticated art. Amia, the high ceilings stretch above you, and the mezzanine offers a peek at glass displays lined in an open hallway facing where you stand. Compared to the last time you were here, you get a chance to inspect the building's classical architecture more. It reminds you of the vibe of your own workplace. You hear the loud echo of shoes on tiles before you hear his voice. Yinny, Chao's rushing, strides halt in front of you. Soft hair falls across his face as he catches his breath. Hello. Sorry, I ran from... The man is paler than usual, and you don't fail to notice the faint shadows under his eyes. Still, his smile is as radiant as ever, all teeth and blush. You can't help but grin. Hi, Chao. Hi. He feigns the cough and straightens, reaching into the pocket of his jacket. From it, he produces a thin card attached to a metal tag. May I? You nod and he carefully attaches the guest tag to your clothes. Also, you're not allowed to visit the archival rooms anymore, since your collaboration contract with Colvin has ended. I tried convincing my manager, but it didn't work. Sorry. That's completely fine, I understand. What's your secret project then? It's the museum's anniversary soon. For every wing, the main team of curators will get a curator's choice exhibition. What will you be showing? I don't know yet. We're still planning the main installations right now. Let's go. I'm actually very wary because he has talked to us about embalming and preserving things, and I have a feeling that if we piss him off, he's gonna preserve us. You fall into step with Chao. Various visitors bring the place to life, their appearances telling a story of their own. Are you on the clock, Chao? I don't want to intrude. I am, but don't worry. Our schedules on this project today are flexible. I'll show you how flexible I am. Not very, mind you, but I'm working on it. We need to see fresh faces every once in a while anyway. We? The curating team. I'll introduce you to them right now. A silent comfort accompanies the rest of the walk. It doesn't take long before the milling visitors turn to an area with tagged employees. Various construction materials stacked and scattered about. Nestled at the end of a hall, Chao opens the door. It opens to a well-lit workspace with several large tables laid out. There are papers, binders, tools, and a variety of things on the shelves around. There are 5 people dressed out of uniform, but all look right at home in the artistic mess of the room. Before you can say anything, a familiar face calls out. Oh, Yinny, you're here. She walks over and takes your hand, guiding you to the tiny crowd peppered around a big rectangular table. Some are standing over sketches on parchment paper and some are sitting around. They all turn to look back and forth between you and Chao. Everyone meet Yinny. She is the one who handled Jane's funeral back then. A middle-aged woman with long blonde hair smiles widely. She's wearing a colourful summer dress. I remember you, I'm Tay. Nice to see you again. Yeah, Evans, I remember you too. The last person, a brunette, idly scrolls their phone, not noticing that it's their turn. Tay gently nudges them. Sorry. Sarah, they give you an acknowledging nod and go back to scrolling. So there's Tay, Pierre, Evans, and Sarah. Nice to meet you all. Chao said you're here to look around? Yeah, I came here from work. You must be tired then. Sit. You catch Chao grinning at you, seemingly grateful that Geraldine is handling the social introductions for him. A set of heavy footsteps resound in the hallway and the door opens. An older man with thick-rimmed glasses and a blue shirt peeks into the room. His back is as straight as his immaculate tie. Is he hot? Taylor, Chao Shang, can you two help me check 203? Sure. Oh, okay. That's Joshua, our manager. Sorry, is it okay if I leave you for a few minutes? It's okay, don't worry. He shoots you an apologetic smile and reluctantly heads to the door. The older man eyes you and Chao curiously. Much to your relief, conversation seems to flow with these curators. They're currently making a collection plan for one of the anniversary displays. They even ask you about your work, and you happily answer their curiosities. But at some point, you settle on listening to their discussion, occasionally throwing a glance to another person who's been quiet this entire time. Sarah's no longer on their phone, but they keep stealing glances at you too. The others seem engrossed in their conversation and won't overhear. It won't hurt to talk, right? They look up in vague alert. Hi, you're Sarah, right? Yeah, just as your nails make you want to back out of this conversation. Sarah shifts on their seat. I thought the Jane Avery job was done. Yeah, weeks ago. I'm just here to look around. Are you a curator too? I am. We all are. Something is poised on the edge of their lips. But when they keep it, the conversation lulls again. Are you Chao's girlfriend or something? No, not yet. But we are, seeing each other. Your response seems to further agitate the gears in their mind. A slender finger is brought to their lips, bitten by habit. What do you think of him so far? Their tone suggests a meager attempt at a feigning tease. The tension in their eyes says something else. What do you choose to see? They want to tell you something. I don't want to choose that one just yet. Jealousy suggests itself in your mind, but your heart says otherwise. The way they stared at Chao wasn't desire, and the way they look at you now isn't envy. It's fear. Why? Chao is very kind. He's sweet, and we have a lot in common. I haven't known him for that long, though. What do you think about him? Your tone is casual, as if trying not to drive away a skittish animal. They slightly release the tension in their shoulders at your curiosity. Not much. I'm not close to him either, but they look at you intently, albeit with a conflicted expression, gauging your reaction. Something wants to be spoken. You just have to react properly. Do you dislike him? They let out a sigh from a breath both of you have been holding. Not sure if it's dislike, more like their hand travels from their lips to their hair, looking up at you as a final reassurance. I like him, of course, but if there's something I need to know, then I'd like to know. Another relaxed sigh. This time defeated, and their posture falls into that of a more relaxed one. Before you panic, no. It's not about him messing around with other people. In fact, this is the first time he's ever introduced us to anyone. We all know a lot of visitors and stuff like him, but he always says no to date offers. Oh, then I'm just special, I say. Delusional, as usual. All the more reason why I want you to know this, since you're the first to make him swoon or whatever. And I don't want to be seen as some gossip, so keep this between us. You nod as calmly as you can despite your curiosity on the breaking point. They scratch at the back of their head awkwardly. From the start, I always thought something was off about the guy, but I have no idea what. He's nice and everyone likes him. I thought it was just me low-key being an asshole. Until, well, one time during a super rainy week, some of the staff rooms in our wing got moisture damage. Some of the tiles popped up due to poor installation and toppled some stuff from the tables. We all have shared offices like this one, but since Chao was overseeing a big event at the time, he and some others were each temporarily given private rooms. The day the construction workers were announced to come, the staff that was on shift at the time were instructed to help move things to other rooms. One of the tiles that popped up was the room Chao was using. It was unlocked, so I just started picking things up. There were several broken tiles and some stuff that was strewn on the floor. There's this one notebook, and Sarah's monotone, slightly detached tone begins to shift. Noticeable discomfort resurfaces in the way their fingernails get bitten once again. There was, pictures of people. Dead people. Oh, great. So he's a freak. I mean, we already knew this. What? I know. This is wrong, but I opened the book to make sure I wasn't seeing things. It wasn't. There were even notes on various botanical and human anatomies. I don't know if it's some true crime geek shit or like some movie screenshots or something, but his face when he saw me? He's probably just mad I went through his stuff, I don't know. I said sorry, and he said it was just his personal studies, photos from the internet, and friends in some fields. And that I shouldn't worry, but I promise I won't tell anyone. But I think both of us were like, freaked out. We're still friends and we pretend it never happened, but it gets kinda awkward if it's just the two of us. And seeing you here made me remember it. You see the concern and conflict in Sarah's eyes. The heavy sigh brings you back to the present, and that's it. You're free to do whatever you want about him. Whatever it is, I don't want to be involved, and don't tell him I told you. And if you already know about his hobbies, let's pretend we never had this conversation. No, I didn't, but he does show interest in learning more about my field. Maybe it's that. Thanks for telling me anyways. I think he's telling the truth. Sarah eyes you now with something else this time, and you know what it is. You give it almost every day. Pity. Oh, great. Well, at least Sarah was a girl's girl and told me about Chao's peculiar hobbies. As she said, it might not be anything, but it also might be something, so at least she spoke up about it. If there's doubt in your words, do they notice? Enjoy your listener. And if your voice needs an echo of reassurance, will they give it? Well, good luck. You swallow thickly. You return to paying attention to the others, and Sarah does the same. A few minutes pass and the room door opens again. Chao pops from the hallway, followed by Tay. We're back! They join the table to look over the various sketches. Pierre angles his laptop to show Chao an article he's been poring over. What do you think of our plans, Yandere? It's cool. I can't wait to see it. You should come. We curators will have our own space too. I look forward to it every year. Chao told me about that. What exactly do you show there? Anything. As long as it fits on the stand, we can get a little competitive over it. We being him, by the way. The man jokingly punches the other on the arm. You laugh. It reminded you of Ash. For us, Botany Wing citizens, we choose to present a botany-related item of our choice. As long as it has a collection value. It can be simple, like your favorite dried flower specimen or something like a rare volcanic soil. I think it's cool. Sarah leans forward to add to the discussion. Pretending some conversations never happened is an expertise to them, it seems. You decorate the displays, make them conceptual like art installations. The director loves contemporary stuff like that. Visitors and press love it too. Do you know what you'll be choosing this year, Sarah? Not yet, but I want seeds or fruits. Their expression vaguely softens when talking to Geraldine. Oh, are you going for a morphology concept? Nah, personal anecdote. I really hope Chao does not kill Sarah. I actually really like her. You should try coffee beans since you drink that stuff every day. Good idea, thanks. The conversation continues, and you listen with rapt attention, slowly becoming fond of this little team and their colourful personalities. Not long after, Chao puts a hand on your shoulder. It's getting late. Do you want to go now? Sure, to your place, right? Are we gonna do it? I'll cook you dinner. I just brought the ingredients this morning. Adorable young love. Have fun, you two. Thanks, Geraldine. Thank you. The rest of the team exchange cheeky smiles with each other. Tay covers her mouth to stifle a giggle. Only Sarah winces. You bid your thanks and goodbyes to the team while Chao takes his bag from a nearby shelf. Say less, I want to kiss him right now. I'm still worried about what Sarah said though. So, what do you think of the team? They're smart and funny. I see how you fit right in. Thank you, I'm glad you came. Not yet, I haven't. A soft smile graces your face. Despite the wide berth the museum halls give you, your shoulders are almost touching, comfortable in each other's presence. And I'm glad you brought me along. His smile gives you a warmth you never knew you needed. Chao gives you a ride on his motorcycle. Cool afternoon air brushes against your cheek and your arms wrap themselves around his waist. It doesn't take long to reach his house, located not far from the museum. Well, we're here. You can put your shoes here and sit in the living room. I'm gonna wash my face first, just a minute. An array of keychains rings loudly as he drops his messenger bag to the sofa. You're starting to like that sound. You sit on a small stool by the door, taking off your shoes while taking in the surroundings. It's a simple house fit for 2 people. The curtains are drawn and the living room is accentuated by warm ambient lighting, giving it a relaxing feel. A faint, rosy smell dances in the air coming from 2 bottles of reed diffusers. Some potted plants tastefully decorate the area. You're quite surprised that Chao doesn't have more. A random jacket is strewn on the back of the sofa, and there are lots of decorations on the flat surfaces. Souvenirs, trinkets, and statuettes. It's a little cluttered, but still clean and tasteful. You sit on the sofa, observing the various patterns on the pillow covers. Before you could dwell on it, Chao emerges from the bathroom, his face slightly flushed with several baby hairs stuck on his forehead. It's the most relaxed look you've seen on him so far. You laugh softly. Your face is still dripping wet. The back of his hand shoots up to wipe his chin, face flushing further. I'm a little too excited. I don't get guests often. Really? Yeah, I kinda like to keep my space to myself. I like your company more though. You're welcome anytime, Yandere. Smooth? What? I mean it. A gentle laugh blooms on your face. I know. Me too, Chao. I'm relieved. He casually drops on the couch next to you, leaving a small gap in between. Aww. What do you think of my place? It's really nice. I thought you had more plants around though. They're mostly in the garden. As you saw, I also have my own room for personal collections. What collection? I like to have my own little curation of specimens, live or dead. I usually preserve them myself. Is that foreshadowing? And what do you do with them? To your curiosity, his smile grows, bringing colour to his fair cheeks. Depends, I can keep, sell, or do my own research. What kind of research? His voice trails at the end and you almost miss the sudden, minuscule tension in his gaze. So you study them and stuff. Yiddy, get out of his house. Get out. Still with a soft smile that now doesn't reach the eyes, he meets you with his gaze. I study a lot of different things. Maybe I'll show you one day. It was fast, but you felt it. Something odd in your gut. For a split second, you look at him with an indiscernible expression. And he, to you, with rapt attention, as if wanting to capture your every reaction. But Yiddy, I think you should leave. Otherwise, you are about to be put in a jar. It doesn't last long before his usual demeanor returns. Any other things you're curious about? You brush off whatever that prior feeling was. Don't brush it off. Yay! The brand of these reed diffusers. And they smell amazing. I made them. Your mouth makes an O shape, and Chao chuckles gently. He shifts closer to you. What kind of fragrance do you like? This one is nice. Okay, I'll make you one then. Really? You don't have to. I want to. I'll tell you when it's done. Thank you. No problem. Speaking of, I've always wondered. Yes? What do dead bodies smell like? He says every word carefully. Judging your expression when he realizes you're unfazed, he seems to be pleased. It's quite pleasing to you too, being able to satiate his questions. There's no exact smell. Fresh bodies can smell differently based on how they passed away, lifestyle, and other factors. I heard they smell sickly sweet. Yeah, usually there's this undertone of thick sweet scent, at least for me. And after they're embalmed, it smells like chemicals. We use other things to lessen it though. Such as? There's this chemical in the embalming fluid called benzaldehyde. We use this as a deodorizing agent. Oh, and sometimes the families of the deceased would hand over things like perfume they used to wear when they were still alive. I see. In his rosy eyes, the low light of the room mirrors itself. A reflection of warmth that you crave. So opposed yet so similar to the cold. Quiet glint of surgical lights on a wedding ring. You think once more about the man you embalmed a few days ago and his weeping fiancé. Blue is his favorite color. It reminds him of the sky. Chao, what's your favorite color? What, really? What'd you think it was? I thought it was pink or green. Because my hair is pink? Yeah, and your favorite jacket is green. You wear black all the time too. It's a dress code. Then what's your favorite color? I like green. Good choice. My bedroom walls are green. It makes a good ambience. Wait, why do you say it like that? Was that supposed to be flirting or... You can't read his expression. Just answer anything normal and calm now. Of course, the plant lover would say that. It's good nonetheless. Yeah. Why'd you ask? You told me the events of the week with the fiancé and the ring. Nuts. I can't imagine how she feels. Me neither. An indiscernible expression with the hold of his gaze, rests his head back and looks up to the ceiling deep in thought. Admittedly, Chao isn't as easy to read as he seems, but in times like this, it's as if you can hear the gears in his head turning. Before you realize it, a small laugh escapes your lips. His head turns, pink hair falling across his cheek. Why are you laughing? Nothing. Hey. The way he straightens makes you laugh even more, and even he can't resist a grin. You look so serious when you think. I do? Yeah, like this. Wait, no, I think it's more like he laughs freely at your attempt at mimicry. It's a sound you're grateful to hear often lately. You look thoughtful, I guess. Just say dumb. It's okay. I would never. The two of you continue to laugh and have small talk until Chao glances at the clock. I have to start cooking before it gets too late. I'll help. You stand, but Chao puts his hands on your shoulder and slowly sits you back down on the sofa. You're my guest. You should relax. I'll turn the TV on. You can watch anything you like, or... He opens one of the drawers in the living room and hands you a thick album. It looks crisp and well made. My most recent personal collection. Been working on it for a few months now. It's a herbarium album filled with various pressed plants. Leaves and flowers curl flatly on the pages like paintings. In the corner lay small descriptions handwritten by Chao. Wow! He beams at your attention. I have more in that drawer. Feel free to see, but please, open them carefully. You nod dutifully. Eyes still fixed on the pages. Footsteps recede with him to the kitchen. Carefully you turn every page, examining the pale array of organic shapes. You can make out the colors. Green, red, yellow, and so much more. Chao's handwriting is crisp and consistent. He lists off the plant's name, date and location of acquisition, and some other things you don't understand. As you reach the end of the filled pages, a familiar blossom appears between your fingers. The Heart's Undertaker, dated a few weeks prior. Its pale petals and dark stem lay like an ink drawing on the paper. The only splash of color is the faded but apparent natural splatter of pink, dried and darker than its living counterpart. It reminds you of Venus blood. No other entries after that. Curiosity wells in you, urging you to check the drawer for more. It seems that the albums age ever so slightly as the stack goes down. You gently take one of the ones off the top, and take the album at the very bottom. It's not old, still sturdy and clean, and the label on the cover dates back several years. You open it from the middle, only to find that it's a photo album, not a herbarium. A posed photo of Chao, Jane Avery, and a man you don't recognize. Chao is slightly younger, and it looks like a formal event of sorts. You squint at the repeating patterns on the backdrop. It's a convention from 3 years ago. A long shot from the 1 year he has claimed to know Jane from the museum. Oh no, there are other pictures of Chao and people you don't know. But something pulls you to that photo only. She's wearing heavy makeup. Again, your mind draws to her lifeless body. You keep remembering it so vividly the memory is seared in your mind. You think of anything you can recall. Black hair, pale skin, sunken eyes and a pink birthmark like color to her cheeks, covered by makeup. There's nothing new you can think of. You return the volume to the drawer. When Chao said you could see his albums, he probably meant the ones containing his plants, not him. You return to the sofa and take a look at the other herbarium albums. After your curiosity is satiated, you peek into the kitchen. And there, Chao stands with an apron tied to his waist. Rhythmic clacks follow the blade of his knife, backgrounded by piano instrumentals coming from his phone. This is very Patrick Bateman, I'm just gonna say right now. Chao, can I use your bathroom? Yes, it's at the end of the hall. You make your way to the door. His bathroom is clean and simple. You do your business quickly. The various items on the sink catch your eye as you wash your hands. The hand soap bottle is cactus-shaped, and the face wash brand he uses is foreign. You can't help but look at the other things too. I don't know, guys, I'm very wary about this. A familiar bottle of body soap catches your eye. The signature bottle shape and smell. It's the same brand and variant that you use. It looks barely used. Unlike the other bottle, that one must be his daily soap. Oh, his shampoo is a 2-in-1. No! Chao! Let's just go back. You exit the bathroom and notice the door next to it. You didn't realize before, it's the same color as the other doors in his house. But upon closer inspection, you notice how it's made of a different material, similar to something that would be found in a lab, hospital, or a morgue. Do you guys notice how the music has stopped? I have. It's scaring me. It also has a key scanner. Still wondering, you head straight for the kitchen. Can I watch you cook? Come in. Did you like the album? Yeah, did you really gather it all yourself? Some of them, the rest I got from other people. Oh, you lean on the empty counter, observing Chao's cooking. Wanting to make more small talk, you mention the first thing that comes to mind. What's the door next to the restroom? Chao's hand pauses for a slight second before resuming. He smiles only a little. That's a secret. That's what you're gonna end up, Yinny. Dead. If you want to see it, you have to ask the right questions. The right questions. Yeah, the ones that will get me killed. Yes, I'll be waiting for you to figure it out. He doesn't elaborate and you're too puzzled to ask. Puzzled and intrigued. This is a challenge. Nuh-uh, this is a sign to go home. You make a mental note on these right questions. I'm making chicken and vegetable stir-fry. Mom says if I ever have someone over, I should cook them this because it'll make me look capable, so I hope I don't disappoint. I know you won't. You talked about family before. Chao's an only child, but his parents live in another city. But they still keep in contact, but that's about all he's willing to say. The man moves smoothly to slice another bok choy. Before, you've seen him in professional settings. The meeting at the cafe, the days at the funeral home, and him basically giving you a tour of his workplace. But this side of him was new, cooking in his house with a serenade, relaxing, as you've ever seen him before. Also, I'm sorry, but I accidentally opened your photo album. I closed it immediately, but I figured I should at least apologize. Oh, that's okay. I think I misplaced it. See anything curious? I did, actually. I only saw it for a split second, but I think I saw Miss Jane. You said you have only known her for barely a year, but that picture was from years ago. Chao blinked several times, attention still on the cutting board. You wonder if you've crossed the line. Ah, the one from the conference, right? My bad, I was trying to remember. Yeah, it was an art conference a few years ago. We didn't know each other back then, but I took the picture because my friend told me to. He knew who she was, but was too embarrassed to be the only one asking for a photo. It's printed because it's a free photo booth from the event. I'm worried. There's something more. Your gut is telling you something, and you want to listen. You think Chao is telling the truth, but not the whole story. You nod non-committally. After a while, dinner is served. You eat it a bit too fast for your liking out of excitement. The warmth and rich flavor melting in your mouth. Tell your mom she's right. Will do. I actually grew herbs when I was little. Used to cook it with her. Have you tried that before? Growing stuff. I have. I'm growing mushrooms now. I did, but it kept dying on me. What was it? Basil. It gapes in disbelief, causing your cheeks to redden. I was 6. I've killed a basil plant before. Fine, I'll give you a pass. If you're interested in picking it up again, you know who to call. Geraldine? No. You and Chao continue the pleasant conversation during dinner. Even until you wash the dishes, he insisted on doing it himself too. But you managed to insist harder, saying it was the least you could do. Chao's slender figure leans on the counter, a smile perpetually gracing his face while watching you manage the sink. Even with his usual calm demeanor, one can tell he's giddy. There's a pet that changes his graceful gestures. This is the first and last time you're allowed to wash the dishes at my place. Let's see about that. You shoot him a grin, but his words leave a warm feeling in your heart, as if it's a given that you'll be coming over again next time. I hope it is, you think. Nighttime arrives sooner than expected. You bid your temporary goodbyes to Chao's house. He gives you a ride home despite the distance, and the night air is cool on your skin. In Chao's typical gentlemanly manner, he escorts you to the door of your apartment. Good night, Yinny. Thank you for today. I should be the one thanking you. I had a lot of fun. Me too. I hope it's not too presumptive if I were to call it a date. Of course not. It's a date to me as well. Triumphantly, he lets out a cheerful laugh, betraying nothing till the late time of the day. I'm glad. See you again soon, Yinny. Despite his words, he shuffles, as if not wanting to leave yet. You look at each other in the empty hall. There's adoration in his eyes. Kiss him, let him kiss you, or leave? Sure. At this point, we're pretty sure he's a killer, but I wanted to kiss him. You cup the sides of his cheeks in your palm and gently bring his face to yours. Eyes closed, you feel his hands on your waist. Your lips meet his once and twice. His grip tightens as you touch his scarved neck. Your hands remain for a heartbeat on his skin before pulling away. No, don't go. His hands land on your wrist, keeping them in place. In the hallway? Bent over? I mean, you know what? Yeah, what the hell, sure. It's painless but firm. Whereas eyes usually harbor bashful surprise, in its place is something you don't recognize. A small sound like a hitched breath comes out of his parted lips. He leans forward once more, noses touching. A breath away from another kiss. You don't move away, wide-eyed. You feel the tremors of his shaking hand still on your wrist. His skin is hot. His expression is a cracked mask. In a sickening way, you're enamored by the sight. Oh, great, I'm a freak as well. Chao. I hope he whimpers. Your voice is barely a whisper. Before you can say anything else, he gives your cheek a quick kiss and pulls away. Oh, god damn it. Good night, Yinny. A little too quickly. He turns on his heels and goes back down the hall to the elevator. Oh. For a few moments, you school your breathing in the desolate hall. You enter your room ready to wind down for the day. Still hazy, you replay the events of the day. The black and white photo of you and him stares back at you, all smile and teeth. All thanks to a strange request from a businesswoman you don't know. You're intrigued by Chao, and you enjoy his company. There is a deep fondness whenever he appears in your thoughts, caught in the crossroads of a desire between the undertaker and the curator, those who dedicate themselves to preserving what was once life. Do you really know who he is? Stage 3. Advanced Decay. Oh, great. This is where I die. You don't know him yet. Enigmatic and potent. Quiet poison in the veins. You like him. His kind smile and rosy cheeks. And how you feel a sense of accomplishment every time he laughs a little louder than usual. But you also notice the way he looks at you, fervently and cruelly. There is something buried inside. A festering within him that you've yet to unearth. I love how some of the words are so deliberately like adjacent to embalming. It's really cool. And isn't that what brought you to him? And him to you? To preserve something, you must first understand it. You recall what you know so far. There are several things you noticed since you started paying more attention. The circumstances of Jane Avery's death, her broken relationship with Owen, and how Chao plays into all of this. You don't forget the last time the two men met each other, then his job and personal interests. There's a door in his house that you have to ask the right question to see. After that, there's what Cyrus said and his photo album. You stop to take a deep breath. Even with the inevitable danger, you don't remember the last time you felt this alive. GG's chat, it was so nice knowing you guys, but I am going to die. The next day, you sit on your couch, hands hovering over a text to Owen. If anyone knows anything about Chao or Jane, it's most likely him. Hey Owen, how are you? You get up and get ready for the day. This week is a little busy for you, but you can't wait any longer to find out more. Buttoning your shirt, you check your phone again. Good. Need anything, Yinny? At least it's perceptive, you think. Sorry to bother. I want to ask you some things. Are you free today? About? Chao and Jane. But if you're uncomfortable, you don't have to. Before you can say anything else, he immediately sends a response. No, I'm down. After lunchtime today. Yeah. Is my office okay? Be there around 1. Thanks. See you. You chose your office not only because of your schedule. You don't want him or anyone getting the wrong idea that this is any more than an inquiry. Despite your curiosities, you're still seeing Chao after all. You care. A lot. And that's why you're trying to understand him. It doesn't take long before you're ready to go. You leave your apartment as usual, now with a silent wish that everything will be alright. You arrive at Heavenshade Funeral Home. It's still early, but the city beyond the lobby windows is already up and about. The next few hours go by smoothly, with you meeting a family to discuss their cremation service plans. But thank you for your help. We'll be back later. Absolutely. I'll be here until the afternoon. After your clients leave, you eat your lunch alone, resting before the rest of the day. Brisk knocks hit your office door. Come in. Owen's sturdy frame appears. His brows are slightly furrowed in a way that suggests it might be subconscious. Hey. Hi. Sorry you had to come here today. I'm really busy today. That's cool. I need to get out anyway. Despite the casual way he usually brings himself, there is tension in his shoulders. Please, sit down. He obliges. Would you like anything to drink? No thanks. Yinny, I'm not your client anymore. No need to be so stiff. His tone has no malice in it, only genuine encouragement. In the way he knows best. For the first time since he entered the room, his face eases into something more similar to his usual expression. I'm worried. You too. Release a breath you don't know you've been holding. Sorry, you're right. It's just... breathe. I've been seeing Chao lately, but I think there are some weird things I've noticed about him. Owen's eyes twitched. You're sure of it? But considering he's trying to school his expression for you to continue, you do so. Can you tell me why you got angry at him back then? His unfazed expression suggests that the question was expected. He folds his arms across his chest and lets out a heavy sigh. Cause I think he's the person that's been stalking me. Thought. I don't know. What? It wasn't long after our reunion. I felt like someone was freaking staring at me whenever I go outside. I think I told you something like that. This one night I was so creeped out I started running. No idea where to, but eventually circled back near my apartment. Some hooded guy stood there. Long story short, I called out. Tried running, so I grabbed him. Your face must have reacted because his posture shifts a little defensively. Yeah, it was stupid. I was in a bad place. Then his hood fell off. It's your guy, alright? Should have seen his eyes, Yinny. Do you really not notice anything? You do alright. You notice. Your heartbeat quickens. Just wondering, what if it's a coincidence that he's there? I'm not doubting you. This is just hypothetical. You fear Owen would react badly, but all he does is shrug, remaining unaffected. Exactly why I didn't press charges and didn't tell anyone. Even you. He was loitering, ran away, and the way he looked at me was freaking creepy. I trust my gut more than anything, but you can't present gut as court evidence. True. What about Jane? Can you tell me more about her? What about Jane? Can you tell me more about her? You realize that this is probably breaching a lot of etiquette codes. But you remind yourself that you're talking to Owen as a friend in this moment. Even if aged, the funeral home walls are the ones housing this conversation. Get into it. Not long after I started feeling watched, my mom reached out to me again, asking to see me, saying stuff like, I know you've been unwell. Creepy shit. He starts to look more agitated, but is still willing to talk. I don't talk to my mom anymore, not since I graduated college. We never understood each other. She wants me to be her mini-me, I guess. Guess I was also a stupid kid. Too late for that though. The silence stretches for a moment. A blank space on the wall bears the weight of his absent look. What do you know about your guy and my mom? You recall the information you found online in the album in his house. I think they're personal business partners. Aside from her being the Collivans' business partners. Yeah, turns out they know each other from beyond Collivan relations. Now Owen looks even more visibly distressed. He runs a finger through his hair. You're not recording this, right? What? No. Good. Tell me everything you know first. You tell him all you noticed since you started seeing Chao. What you found online. Cyrus' story, the album and the other strange encounters. You don't tell him about the kiss. That memory is only for you and Chao. Yeah, there's no need, I guess, to describe to Owen that me and Chao were like a hair's breadth away from absolutely like fandangling it in the public hallway. Owen's leg starts bouncing, head slightly bowed in thought. So? What did you want to say? Dark, grave eyes look up. So much like his mother. Patiently you wait until Owen gathers the strength to speak again. A deep, deep sigh resounds from him. This is insane. Should I be telling you this? What does your gut say? He smiles faintly. It tells me that if anyone in the world needs to know right now, it's you. My mom wasn't a clean businesswoman. She's in a lot of shady stuff. It's one of the reasons I left home. Oh, what do you mean by shady? Black market. Hide guns, spies, and whatever makes her get what she wants. After your story, I'm damn sure he's one of them. Don't speak ill of the dead. It's one of the things you've overheard, spoken many times in the funeral home. Usually in a reprimand from a family member to another. Nevertheless, death is always open, the gates of retrospection. Down to a path where grudges and whispers are unearthed together. To be the one holding the shovel, however, sends a cold down your spine. He's a hitman. Who knows? She hires a lot of different people for different reasons. You think he's a gun guy or a fist guy? A sardonic scoff escapes his lips. You stare at your desk in thought. You can't imagine Chao doing such crude work. He seems like the type to move quietly, calculating and sharp, like something in the veins. Alright guys, let's take bets. What do I think Chao is? I don't know if he's a hitman or anything. I think he might just be a bit of a freak that's really into preserving things. How do you know all this? He rolls his right shoulder, weighing on whether to indulge your question. Let's just say, kids aren't as clueless as their parents think. When you barely spend time with your children and strange people keep appearing, they try to find things out sooner or later. You nod in understanding. Silence descends upon the room. Your mind is jumbled trying to make sense of everything you know. When I'm getting really nervous, you're into deep shit, Yinny. Just how close are you with Chao? Well, he nearly put his thingy inside me. Close enough for it to hurt. There has always been a gaping maw in your heart. Silent and ever-present. Its presence has mostly gone unnoticed throughout your life until the day you met Chao. You like him, love him. Maybe you need to keep chasing it. Oh, close. Sharp knocks hit your door. That's my cue. He stands up and you do the same. The look of concern is easy to spot on his face, as rare as it is. Helloyinny. If you remember anything else about my mom, or if you have a plan, tell me. Thanks, Owen. As you walk behind him, you notice a little bit of red skin peeking under his sleeve. Slightly more rolled up than usual. You don't remember it being there when you were in high school, but it reminded you of Jane and the pink spots on her face. What's that on your arm? Oh, I had hives a few days ago. It's still a little red. He pulls his sleeve further, showing a spot that indeed looks similar to an allergic reaction. Oh, didn't you watch me play back then? I wore jerseys. It'd be obvious if I had one on my arm. His tone turns slightly teasing. You can't help but smile too. Yeah, you're right. Jane had one, so I guess I thought you did too. What? Didn't she have a birthmark on her face? From here to here? You make a sweeping gesture across your cheek. Owen's brows furrow incredulously. Did Chao kill Jane with the poison lily? And has he been dosing Owen with, like, little bits of it? Oh my god. What are you talking about? She doesn't have a birthmark. What? It's been 2 days. Work has been busy, but even then, it's not enough to completely take your mind off Chao. You just showered and are currently opening your laptop on the kitchen island. Think and try to remember anything else you can find. On the laptop browser, you look for your saved links. Chao's papers must still be in there. There are plenty of them and other related research you found from other people. You pick one of Chao's research reports. Isolation and functional analysis of cardiac glycosides in Lilium cupiditas. Despite not understanding a lot of the terminology, you try your best to skim for anything of interest. There are supplemental images. Help giving you a visual cortex. It doesn't take long before your mind wanders. If you remember anything about my mom, the image of her on your metal bed. A woman of below average height and thin build. Owen must have gotten his height from his father. Pale skin, aged but visibly taken care of through beauty treatments. Her hair was dark and long, with streaks of grey. You continue to think, while skimming the document. The heart's undertaker. Scientific name, Lilium cupiditas. It's a highly toxic plant classified in a C-section scar. Across her lower abdomen, injection marks from the hospital's IV fluid and blood draws. What else? Used as a natural preservative agent in embalming practices during the 16th century. A strong nose, something Owen inherited, but most striking were her eyes. Angry and defiant even in passing. Even when it's shut, her brows rest in a disapproving furrow. Sustained exposure to refined roots has been shown to induce disturbances to cardiac electrical signaling pathways. You remember wondering what she would have sounded like. Perhaps something unsaid, dissolved into the dark with her. Her brows, eyes, nose, and her face. A cell-binding enzyme in the heart's undertaker's toxin could cause post-mortem discoloration akin to birthmarks or rashes. Oh god! As the body decays, the discoloration will darken and spread, eventually breaking down affected skin cells as well. Did Chao poison them? Your breath hitches in your throat. Ding! You glance at the notification on your screen. Dinner tomorrow? Oh my god. Dinner tomorrow. Something in your stomach lurches. You don't know how long you're rooted in place staring at the space between the two screens. Your mind is a disorder of fear and shock, but that is a given. What shames you is the fact that beneath all that, you still want to know more. There is a horrible pull begging you to proceed and let go of the reins. Nuh-uh. I am begging you to stop and hang on to those reins. Yay! You have several ways to go about this, and none of them are easy, and none of them are good. Should have backed down when you had the chance. He wouldn't, right? Every second spent thinking about it makes your heart scream. Even more because you know him. You know he would. Pick your poison. Oh no. Alright, find out for yourself. You can't bear another moment of going behind Chao's back. A man you've come to be enamored with. And one you need to understand even if your life is on the line. No, Edie, no. Of course you'll play it slowly and safely. Take your time in picking him apart and relish in his reaction. Relish? There is something waiting at the end of this. A gratifying love you'll never find anywhere else. Why you're so sure of this, you're not sure. Because I'm a sick freak, apparently. All you know is that the inherent danger fills you with a rush you don't dare to confess out loud. What twisted discoveries about him and yourself this might entail is for you to find out. Is this your poison of choice? Yes. You won't involve Owen or anyone else anymore. It's just you and Chao. We'll get all 4 endings as well, by the way. There's 4, so this is probably the first one. The thought of it sends a sickening rush of adrenaline to your bones. You check your schedule before texting Chao back. Let's. I know a place. Still, you have to gauge his reaction first. Asking him in a public setting can be an extra safety measure. You believe that he won't hurt you, but for what it's worth, there are still slivers of common sense in your mind. Oh, thank God, geez, thank heavens for the bare minimum. I will have to say though, I'm having a lot of fun with this. I really like it. You look up to your ceiling, deep in thought. How would you go about this? Finish dinner? Try to ask him about his study on poison and see where it goes. This is reckless. Impulsive and every similar meaning adjective out there, and yet out of all the possible consequences, somehow the one you fear the most is his disapproval. You just have to see the thrill of the chase and the desperation of knowing. It's always been there, dormant in your heart. Something brought it out, but you don't dare say it's love. Not yet. Stage 4, skeletonization. Oh God. Speaking of skeletons, when's he gonna bone me? The next night, you stare at your almost empty plate. The restaurant's lights reflect on your spoon like orbs. It's a pleasant shade of warm, fitting for the late time of the day. There are many possibilities for how this night would go. Despite cementing your decision on wanting to know, there are still buds of anxiety in your mind. Yinny? Oh, sorry. Are you tired? You seem out of it today. It's alright, it's just a little sleepy. Oh, I almost forgot. He takes a small package from his messenger bag. It's a long, thin box wrapped in craft paper. You take it from his outstretched hand. A genuine smile of excitement blooms on your face. What's this? The diffuser. I promised you along with the reeds. A bottle that size would last around a week, but if you want more, just tell me. Is that what he's using to poison people? By making diffusers and gifting it to them, and the oils come into contact with their skin? Maybe it can help you sleep better tonight. Thank you, Chao. I'll open it when I get home. Even in the unseen turmoil of your heart, it makes you happy in unexpected ways. It eases your nerves. It almost makes you want to postpone your plan. Almost. If anything, it fuels your desire more. Hooray! Sick freak Yinny is back. I almost forgot to tell you. I looked up some of your papers. Did you study toxicology back in university? Despite everything, you're genuinely interested in him and his interests as well. The fact that it helps bridge your line of inquiry doesn't hurt. Chao's face lights up immediately, albeit different from the usual innocent charm he displays. You did. I had toxicology courses in uni, but other than that, it's just my personal interest. Do you collect toxic plants too? Yeah, the album I showed you at my house was a special toxic collection. They're safe to handle as long as you know how. When do you get them? I have my ways. You don't know if he notices. But no matter how much you try and keep your usual demeanor, there's a sense of gravity in this conversation. If it weren't for what you've known, it would have been an innocent dinner talk. Your thoughts must have reflected on your expression as Chao squints curiously. What are you thinking about, Yinny? You? Breathe. You prepared this fictional story. I dressed someone earlier today. He was released from a coroner. His expression turns slightly more grave. There are traces of his usual solemn curve of the brows before he starts pondering. A murder? Apparently not. The guy went solo hiking, got lost in the woods, and ate a bunch of stuff no one was supposed to. His body was found, passed to the police and then the coroner. There were no signs of struggle. The conclusion was accidental self-poisoning by mushrooms I don't remember the name of. You can't tell if you told the story convincingly enough or not. I do love the wavy background. Suddenly aware of your surroundings, you glance left and right to make sure the other diners didn't hear anything. Did you notice anything when you worked on his body? Any bruises or discoloration? There was lividity and bruising, but nothing that the coroners haven't already noticed. In your paper, you mentioned something about post-mortem discoloration. He smiles, but it's different from the usual reaction of hearing you ask him about his interests. There's something else. You're feeling a little parched. I sure am. I am quite thirsty in more ways than one. On which paper? The one about the Heart's Undertaker. The rashes. And I think I saw something like that on Jane's face. He raises his eyebrows. You sure it's not an allergy or anything? It looks like common skin irritation or a faint birthmark. And the doctors didn't say anything, but I had a weird feeling about it. Did you embalm her directly from the hospital? No, her body was in the refrigerating room for a few hours. Then it's possible that the rashes appeared after the doctor's examinations. But why are you asking this? Do you think she was exposed to the Heart's Undertaker? Beneath the table, your leg fidgets uncomfortably. Her official cause of death was a heart attack. Isn't that what the toxin does? Yes, but it could be a normal heart attack. If there was anything suspicious, they'd send coroners on her. Besides, with the Heart's Undertaker, It's a common plant and not everyone can work with it. Can you? Yiddy! You're gonna get yourself killed! You said it without thinking. Was that too direct? A sudden wave of anxiety washes over you, but instead of offense, Chao seems intrigued. What makes you think that? You know a lot about plants and poison, apparently. And maybe you know something about her. About her? Or her death? If you think you didn't, you would have immediately apologized and changed the topic out of discomfort, but you stay rooted in your seat, shoulders tense. Your hesitation is enough of an answer to him. There's a glint of amusement in his eyes, a sign of his success in cornering you. He looks pleased with himself and what you mentioned, but not completely. Well, straight to the chop shop I go, I guess. It's as if he wants you to say it outright. Show him you know, and see what you do. The unexpected pressure is making you slightly panic, unsure of how to answer. A meager response is all you can muster. I don't mean it like that. I'm sorry, despite the apology being non-committed. Something in his eyes softens. It's not enough to dampen the rising frenzy behind it, however. It's okay. He tosses you a glance that you come to recognize as gauging your reaction, testing your interest. Either he's unknowingly bit your bait, or he's onto you and is throwing you one of his own. Of course. You bite. That's what you're here for. You're no longer putting up an innocently curious facade. Expression hard as you try and catch any telling sign on his face. Do you know why the name the Heart's Undertaker is even more fitting? Why? The discoloration only appears after death. Heart stops pumping. The cells break down in a way that makes it look like a birthmark. Rosacea. A rash. Anything normal of the sort. If the body just passed, then you'll most likely miss it, even if you see it. Therefore, if someone dies from a poison based on its toxin, the person most likely to identify it is the Undertaker, the last person to see before the body is dressed, buried, or turned to ashes. His gaze is intent, not wanting to miss a fraction of your reaction. A hungry challenge. Did you kill her? You want to ask so badly. It's almost bursting out of your throat. How do you know that? Historical reports, doctors, coroners, and other experts. Do you think I would miss such a thing if the body hasn't been left for too long? Absolutely. A chill runs down your vertebrae, but you don't flinch. He seems amused by this, rather than defensive as you feared. Why are you into this? Isn't it dangerous? I think there's something special about it. You dissect and learn more about them. Past a distance that everyone keeps from. You have to be careful and delicate. It's a balancing act and a potent tool. He thumbs the edge of his forehandle idly. When something catches your interest, even if it's dangerous, wouldn't you do anything to know? No, actually, not me. You guys is hardened, desperately absorbing everything you can. He straightens in his chair, eyeing you back with rapt attention. Please answer. I'd like to hear what you think. Would you do anything to know? I would. Damn it, Yiddy. His smile splits his face in half. Does this topic make you uncomfortable? Usually, when Chao says words like those, it'll be accompanied by a slight frown and pout that he doesn't realize he does when he's concerned about you. But now something is prodding in his eyes. It's challenging you, hoping you'll say, no, tell me everything. His grin gets even wider. You see it again. The unfamiliar wolfish nature in his smile. You school your expression flat in return, in a way that doesn't need to be spoken. Both of you have acknowledged that this isn't going to be a regular night. I am so hooked on this story, this is so good. Tell you what, about you. Jane, everything. Why should I? Because I want to. Arrogant and honest. It hides the way your palm has been sweating for a while now despite the air conditioning. He breaks into a small laugh. Though not quite the same as his usual demeanor yet. Remember the door at my house? The one you asked about? You've asked the right questions, Yinny. I can show you after this if you want. You're going to walk right into the lion's den, but isn't this what you secretly wanted? To understand and be understood. No longer a silent witness to life and death. Sure, a few beats pass as he observes you again. Don't look too tense. I don't bite. You highly doubt it. We're so screwed. We had onion rings. Oh, but he's so hot though. The bill is paid and the both of you leave into the chilly night air. One of your hands clutches the package he gave you. It reminds you of the first time you met him. Lunch in a cafe, sun high in the sky. The lengths I have to go to just to get boned. Even tonight, the city hasn't rested. You take a deep, grounding breath, waiting for Chao to ignite his motorcycle. The black steed is as imposing as the day you saw it, but less jarring now. It gives Chao an edge that you now know he has. Yay! He hands you a helmet, already with his own. The visor is popped down and all you see is a reflection of you, dazed and wondering. You put it on and let Chao buckle it under your chin, fingers lingering just long enough for you to notice, even with the sound of traffic and the night wind that reminds the city to go home. You hear a shaky sigh. Oh, I'm a little worried. Chao's house looks the same as when you visited last, still with the same warm lighting and classy decor. Being here alone with the man puts you in more danger, if you are in any. Yet there's a comfort that even you don't fully understand. The living room smells like him. His water bottle is on the table, and you're sitting again to take off your shoes. Without realizing it, you feel more at ease. Wordlessly, he guides you further into his house. Stopping in front of the door with a key scanner, he pulls the card from his wallet and taps it, producing a satisfying beep. It's gonna be a bit cold. Is that okay? It's fine. He opens the door. Welcome to my lab. Bright, sterile lights bathe the minimalist room. It's a moderately sized personal lab. Impressive for something hidden. Something on the left side immediately catches your attention. Along the wall are glass-covered racks. Flora of various colors are visible beyond it, growing under pink-purple lights. It's the Heart's Undertaker, isn't it? Those are the growth chambers. I cultivate a lot of toxic plants myself, including the Heart's Undertaker. It takes a lot of electricity, so I installed solar panels on my roof. You're half paying attention to his words, still surveying the room in a slight awe. The right side is a long cabinet doubling as a workspace. There's a sink and equipment you don't recognize. A metal bed is the centerpiece of the room, uncomfortably similar to the ones you work on every day. Yeah, that's gonna be my bed soon. Unease snaps you back to reality. You have your back against him, but you feel the weight of his anticipation. Everything you wanted to ask suddenly slips your mind. Chao notices your hesitance and takes a step forward, into your line of sight. He goes over to the chambers and stops at one of the racks. Come here. Oh God, pray for me, guys. You approach him, standing shoulder to shoulder. Inside the glass, there is the speckled flower you come to be fond of. It stands proudly with its ink-like stem. Under the LED lights, its pink pigment shines bright. You've never seen a live one before. Compared to its preserved counterparts, this one brims with life and danger. Wow, wow indeed. Besides you, the soft light of the chamber bleeds to the place you stand in. The stark pink and purple dyes one of his sclera's. It takes everything in you not to flinch. Did you kill her? How did you get them in the first place? You echo a question from back at the restaurant. He smiles at your obvious attempt to ease into conversation once more. The Undertaker. All of them. For the Undertaker and some plants, I gather them myself. The hillside north of the city has a wide variety of plants. The rest I acquire from other people. They sell those freely. Why not? They're toxic. Usually only if you ingest it. And they sell those with plenty of warnings. You can buy one for yourself. Not that I recommend it. Oh, and what do you do with the poisons you make? Did I ever say that I make these poisons, you know? My lab is for preservational research and storage. A blatant lie to you, but he isn't wrong. He smiles teasingly and it sends a wave of frustration over you. Mixed with fear, it forces your brain to think of the next thing to say. If you want me to be honest with you, you have to be honest with me as well. There's a question in your head. Ask it. I want to know what you're thinking about. It's a demand in a way that Chao knows works on you. Gentle and inviting, it will push you into a pit. It seems your ruse of casual questioning is coming to an end. Not that you're unaware. The moment you start digging, you agree to the possibility of being buried, along with what you unearth. For a few beats, you look at Chao wordlessly. Even in this moment, his simple handsomeness makes you pause. You take a deep, almost shuddering breath. Chao, your heart is beating almost painfully. It's exhilarating. Did you kill Jane Avery? There is a desperate, strained effort on Chao's end to hold back a smile, but it's there, in the quirk of his lip and the way he takes a deep breath as well. If I did, what would you do? He's still trying to keep up his usual tone, curious and innocently morbid. It seems he's trying to read you back too, but underneath you know it's a genuine question. You inhale a sharp breath, not backing down from his gaze. I would like to know why. After you know, then what? Would you leave me? You know the answer to this too. An irrational, reckless. No. Well, there we have it. Goodbye. Goodbye, guys. In the next 5 minutes, I will invite you all to my funeral personally. An honest answer. Your face doesn't move a muscle. I am so tense right now. This is great. You can't seem to have it in you to smile or show anything that might undermine the meaning behind your words. Chao tenses for a split second. Then another uncontrollable smile graces his fair skin, illuminated by the rosy lights, a little too wide for his visage. Really? His voice is a shaky whisper. Yes, seeing him like this makes it hard for you to think straight. Well, hopefully him seeing me like this makes him hard in return. You do the same. If it were me, right? Of course, of course, of course, of course. Everything I do is for you. Yay! I feel so loved. Chao's face cracks open into a smile, brows raised in shock, as if he didn't expect you to say it, as if in a trance. He takes a sudden step forward. You step back towards the center of the room and he stands between you and the growth chambers. I killed her. I mean, yeah, I could already tell.
She was my client, but she started to go mad due to illness and substances. I was a loose end, and she wanted me dead. Wanted you dead too.
You steal your voice, trying not to sound too shaky. What?
She dealt in illegal businesses. I was both a toxicologist and a hired spy to her. Didn't Owen say anything about me?
He says these things so casually it's making you real. Out of fear of adrenaline, you don't know. Why did she want me dead?
To hurt me. In a mistake I made, she found out about my affections. Before she laid a hand on you, I had to get rid of her.
His voice is a mixture of emotions. What glimpse of grief you caught was let loose by the wave of elation overwhelming it. Without realizing it, you step backward for every step he takes forward. Why me?
From the moment I saw you, I felt it. And every time I learn something new about you, I know I need to cut you open and keep you forever. You're the specimen I've been waiting for my whole life.
I've never been called a specimen before. I say, in the face of imminent danger, you back up until your hip touches the metal bed.
Are you scared of me, Yandere?
No, not really. No.
Do you want to be?
Are we flirting? I'm kind of caroused right now. You want to let him seep into your veins and earn his ecstasy. For every rush of adrenaline he gives you, a spark lights in your every being. Is this foreplay? And there is a soft sigh, in a way you've never heard from him before. Your heart is beating too fast, hitching the air in your throat. His face is dangerously close to yours. In this distance, you can count his lashes and feel the warmth of his breath. In the corner of your eyes, his slender arms rest on the table, caging either side of your body.
Coming all the way back here? What makes you think I won't kill you too?
He's kind of got a point. You don't get to respond to that. He closes a minute distance and his lips meet yours. Pent-up passion bursts within you and you answer the kiss with your own. You savor the taste of him, trailing touches to his neck and hair. One of Chao's arms wraps around your torso, and the other steadies itself on the table. The position pushes you to the sturdy metal table. You feel the cold edge dig into your back through your clothes. One of many overwhelming sensations you feel at the moment.
Yandere, sit on the table.
Barely breaking the kiss, you hoist yourself and sit on the metal table. Chao immediately stands between your legs and finds himself back between your lips. The kiss is deep, your mouth tangling an occasional gasp. Every once in a while, Chao would make a pleased sound, like a shiver. Wait, can he whimper? It drives you crazy.
Yandere?
Mm-hmm.
Do you love me?
It's difficult to think straight. His chest is flush against yours, still in the embrace. The beat of his heart breaks through his ribs and into you, but you know the answer well enough. It's a wanting that never goes away. Only by sighing it into the world will it ever relieve you of the pain in your chest. You part with him ever so slightly and you speak into his lips. I do.
Say it.
I love you. Heat is pooling between your thighs, wrapped around the sides of Chao's body. You feel his grip tighten around you, hungry and desperate. I don't think I'm scaroused anymore. I think I'm just plain all around.
I want to keep you forever.
He breaks away from the kiss. Looking deep into your eyes, in this minuscule distance, you can still feel the heat of his body. His hands remove themselves from your body and onto your wrists, holding them up between your chests in a tight grip.
I want to draw your blood. Can I, Yandere, please?
He's shaking. His chest rises and falls erratically in anticipation. Do it gently. He breaks into a grin and pulls away slowly. His fingers brush your seated thighs before heading towards the row of cabinets. His grin is so unsettling. It immediately feels colder without the heat of his body. You try to regain your breathing in between shivers.
Lay down.
You do as he says and lie on your back. The cold metal stings you in spots where your skin is exposed. There's a sound of running water, patting, and most dearest of all to you, the snap of rubber gloves on skin. Your heart rate hasn't returned to normal. It thrums in anticipation as well. He's really doing it. Oh my god. He looks like he's so into it. Chao returns to the side of the bed, now standing over you with a thin strip of fabric. You hear the clatter of several items on the surgical equipment stand above your head.
Relax. Don't move.
He brings a strip to your forearm and ties it into a tourniquet. Taking an alcohol swab, he wipes down the inside of your elbow. You silently observe his movements. The way his gloved hand is cool to the touch, laid with pleasant pressure on your arm. There's barely contained glee in his every being. I mean, yeah, I can tell you something else that's at my current eye level that's also barely contained. He takes a syringe from the stand and pops open the cover. You see his throat bulb when he poises it on your vein.
This won't hurt.
It wavers. He's shaking again. And that's when you notice that his... Oh, yeah, you know what? I was right. Wow. Yeah, no, he's... Yep, man, this man is like... Like, Dad, is that a syringe in your pocket or are you just happy to see me? With a sharp breath, Chao steadies his hands. The needle breaks your skin with precision. Crimson blood, tantalizingly bright, fills the barrel slowly as Chao pulls the plunger. You feel it being sucked through your vein, forfeited as a gift to make your sweetheart happy. It's sickening. You feel your breathing quicken in excitement. Done. Thank you. He pulls out the syringe and brings it to the light. With a look of awe, he observes your blood with joy. To the cabinet side of the room, he starts storing the vial and discarding the other medical residues. You watch his back as he turns to the sink once more, running his hand underwater and musing to you. I can't wait to analyze it. I want to commit you to memory and preserve everything about you, Yinny. I don't only want your blood, you know. I want many, many things. You don't feel like getting up, not because of the slight numbness in your arm or the common sight of blood. You want to wait until he tells you to do so. Chao walks back to the side of your table and holds up a flat piece of metal. You recognize it all too well. A scalpel, or the handle of it at least. The blade's been taken off, leaving only the flat metal grip and a thin protruding part from the top. Why don't we try something else? It's cold and hard, but there's no blade. I promise I won't cut you. I've always wanted to try this with you. May I? You sit up and eye the piece of metal. He angles his hand for you to get a better look. What are the rules? You say stop and I stop. But as long as you want to continue, don't move until I say you can. To expose the most skin, I prefer it if you took off your top, but it's your choice. So, what do you say? At least he's giving us a choice. Sure, what the hell, I'm no coward. Imagining being under his complete mercy sends you a rush you can't describe. I'll do it. The lab's cool air immediately brushes your bare skin and you shiver. Lie back down. Chao turns to the cabinet and counters again. You pretend not to notice the tremors returning in his voice. You lie back down on the metal table. Your back arches involuntarily on contact. It's cold and painfully so. Not that you mind much. Chao reappears at your side holding several strips of leather bands. It is an immensely wonderful talent to be able to turn something surgical and depraved into something that's kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie. He ties your wrist to a loop on the side of the table and does the same to your opposite wrist. It's tight but not uncomfortable. Chao makes sure of it. Feel extremely vulnerable, but you want to feel everything Chao has to offer. Your chest tightens in anticipation. Besides your blood, I want other things as well. I want your fingerprints. He holds your fingers in his left hand and the scalpel handle on the right. Slowly, the tip makes contact on your outer wrist. The added cold makes you want to flinch, but the restraints in his grip keep your arm in place. I want to have a copy of it. Memorize the grooves as best as I can. Ah, that's so romantic. Presses the flat side of the scalpel to your thumbnail, putting enough pressure to hurt. You wince. Slowly, he trails the scalpel back to your arm, then to your collarbones. You didn't expect to be so sensitive to its hard, chilled surface. With poorly contained eagerness, Chao presses a little harder along the skin next to your collarbones. Your wrist strain under the leather. One day, I also want to see what's inside of you. But how I'll do it, I'm not sure yet. From your right collarbone, he draws a line to your sternum, and then from your left one until the sternum again. It's bladeless. You're not afraid of being cut, yet the sight and sensation of it brings a fear you never felt before, one you enjoy. From the point on your chest where the two imaginary lines meet, he pulls it down. Excruciatingly deep and slow. It's a straight line down through the middle of your torso, stopping right at the navel. You would surrender completely to the sensation if it weren't for a sudden recognition. You know this blade pattern. It's something you've seen plenty of times throughout your career. Something you'd have to tend to if an uncareful coroner were to make it. It's a Y incision for autopsies. A sudden surge of alarm blares in your head, but all you can do is a weak arch of the spine. This is a Y incision. He's smiling in pleasure. Your knees move to fold in. Don't move. If you want me to continue, don't move. His voice is gentle yet commanding. It was the rule of the game. When you agreed to, you lower your legs again, back to the metal. Your blood, fingerprint, insides. What else? Ah, your teeth. One of his hands cupped your cheek and you lean into the warmth like a starved woman. The leather bands tighten as you struggle not to try and touch him. He teasingly touches the bottom of your lip. Long fingers settle on the spot asking for entry. You open your mouth in compliance. I want a mold to add to the collection, but I don't have the equipment yet. An x-ray would be nice too, don't you think? You look at him, unable to speak at the moment. He simply smiles and you feel him push his fingers deeper, pressing on your tongue. You feel the back of your neck slightly sweat in the cold. The area where your skin meets the leather is starting to feel moist too. You close your lip. Whoa! With a tilt of the head, you stare up at him. Oh. He takes a tissue and disinfectant from the tray and cleans his wet, red, shaking hand. Wow. He's so into it. Damn. He grunts in mild frustration. You see the tent. Oh my god. Is it just hot in here or am I just kind of blushing? It takes him a few seconds and visibly shaky breaths to compose himself. Then he throws you a glance. It's feverish. Despite the growing desire, you want to see Chao fail to hold back first. What's stopping you? Go take care of it. The room and the metal bed are also unforgiving to your bare torso. I'll watch. Yiddy, you pervert. The man raises his brows in surprise. Pale lights highlight the rows of teeth when he bears his smile once more. So, this is a really intense second date.
Really?
Yeah, we're really doing this. What? Wait, hang on. Why am I a cuck on the surgical table?
You always surprise me, Edie.
You have a feeling this is going to be a long, long night. A few months later, after the revelation, you and Chao continue your normal lives as lovers. There are still traces of his stubbornness sometimes, preferring to bear things alone. Despite all the talk about knowing each other, it took him some time to tell you a lot of things out of suppression rather than distrust. We're still alive, guys. We didn't get murdered because I think we might have out-freaked him. Learning new things and growing beside you are the things he's most interested in now. He's still involved in toxicology research, albeit at a much milder rate, and refrains from risky jobs like Jane's. His violence is being reined in with great effort. Sometimes you see it when someone looks at you with interest, or when someone bumps into you and doesn't apologize. The same insatiable desire to have everything he wants and preserve what is precious to him. You can't change him. And you don't want to either. That is true, I don't want to fix him, I want him at his worst. Knowing him has made you find a similar desire within you, a missing puzzle piece of your loneliness. With pride and joy, he knows that too. Your secrets are both yours to keep. A world where no one else can enter. In a way that you no longer think is sickening, it makes you feel loved.
Of course I remember the day. It was windy, away from the city and by the sea. I sat indoor by the little corner away from your rowdy crowd of high school friends. Not that I knew it was yours back then, I was there for Owen. Jane wanted some pictures and to see if he still had the same friends as the ones in his yearbook. At one point, you stepped out alone. You took a deep breath and smiled.
Oh, so he's known us since the reunion.
Were you enjoying the view? I could see that right away you were beautiful, but there's something else I couldn't explain. I had my eyes off Owen, so I was surprised when he stepped out of the cafe and into my view. With you facing him, I could see your face better. I couldn't hear what either of you were saying, but it felt like I could. I wanted to commit to mine how solemn you looked for a while, and how you smiled after, how your eyes trailed to the smoke from his cigarette, and to the sea ahead. I felt this indescribable pull many times, but never to a person. At that moment, I decided I wanted you. In my free time, I discover more about you. I don't think I'll tell you too much about how I did and what I found. The point is, we're so alike. My curiosity turned to affection, especially after I met you properly. The more I know about you, the more I needed you to know me too. I'm glad you want to see all parts of me and love me whole. Back then, I wanted to know what it felt like to talk to you, touch your skin, and see the sides you hide from the world. And you're here now. I can do all those things and more. I'll do everything I can to make you happy, to make sure all your desires are met whenever it may be. Keep me forever, Yinny. I love you.
I mean, that's a good ending. Ending 4 out of 4. Know me. Hooray! Alright, before we go to Owen's path, let's see what happens when we decline.
I don't know about that, Chao. That's okay. Don't force yourself.
He puts down the scalpel handle and puts his far into yours. A slow, loving kiss brings back the warmth you wanted again.
Do you feel well? I didn't take too much blood, did I?
No, I'm fine.
It's okay. If you need anything, tell me.
The proximity still makes you hot. You're not quite done with him for tonight. And with the way he's still breathing heavily, it seems he isn't either.
No, there's not enough room for 2 on this table. Would you like to go to my room instead?
He doesn't have to ask twice. A few months later. Okay, so yeah, it's still so it's the exact same ending. However, it was just that scene was a little different. So instead of you guys boinking in the room after he does that stuff, you go to his bedroom and it's still ending 4. Yeah, so even if you decline, because you've chosen to find out yourself and basically match him freak for freak, he doesn't kill you in that ending. He might kill you in this one though. Let's go grave digging, guys. That's always fun, isn't it? You'll contact Owen and ask for both his help and consent to dig up Jane's body. A detestable and drastic measure, but the safest at the moment. Safe, assuming your biggest threat is Chao finding out you've been sleuthing. A man you've come to lean on, and one you've yet to understand completely. You saw the determination and conflict in Owen. Something tells you he'll agree, even if either of you won't know what to do afterwards. In silence, you can only hope that everything goes according to plan. What devastating and irreversible consequences might entail for you is for you to find out. Is this your poison of choice? Yes. Your fingers struggle to answer Chao's text. You type and retype over and over again. If Chao sees it on his side, he doesn't interrupt. How about lunch? Hands still shaking imperceptibly. You switch to Owen's chat room. Owen, do you have access to your family graveyard? Stage 4. Skeletonization. Agitation has been brewing in your blood all day. It's an erratic swing between fight or flight when you think of what you'll be doing tonight, and every time Chao appears in your mind. Yinny. What? Shit, you didn't mean to raise your voice.
You've been zoning out a lot today. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes, Chao. Please. Again, you regret your tone, as Chao's face falls further. The quick lunch went by and now he's dropped you off in front of the funeral home. You're overwhelmed and you can't seem to hide your distress from your voice. It makes you feel guilty.
Well, just tell me if you need anything and I have something for you.
He opens his bag and hands you a phone charm. It's a frankly bad timing for gift giving, but you take it anyway.
I made it myself.
It's really nice, thank you. The charm is simple when it suits your daily style. Chao clearly put great care into it. You pocket it and a few beats pass.
Well, can you please put it on your phone? I want to see what it looks like.
His eyes are almost pleading, evoking even more guilt for how confused he must be at your behavior today. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I know he's a murderer and everything, and I know he's like messed up, but I feel kind of bad. He looks sad. Even guessing what he did, you don't want to upset him. Wordlessly, you take out your phone and take a few seconds to attach the charm to it. Thanks again.
You're welcome. I hope you keep it on for a while.
A bit of his usual smile returns. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Nightfall. In your apartment's parking lot, the air is stale and cold. It's thin, but the stars in the sky appear when you look up. Throughout the day, a haze had enveloped your thoughts, in which the only clear outline is the silhouette of her corpse. You're going to dig up Jane Avery's body tonight. Owen opens the trunk of his car, a black sedan that fits him like a steed. Ready? Ready to dig up your estranged mother's grave? As ready as I'll ever be, Owen. Yeah, your grip tightens on an innocuous shopping bag. Inside is all the equipment you can procure to help. You put it in the trunk and slip into the passenger seat. A bang resounds as Owen shuts the cover. He gets in the driver's seat and puts his hand on the steering wheel but doesn't step on the gas. You okay?
I am.
He takes a deep breath, and the car drives off into the streets. Oh boy, the clock hasn't reached its peak in the night, and the city still has life in it. Cars pass by in quick succession, and there's a group of women on the sidewalk dressed in shimmer and laughing. Minutes pass and the buildings get scarcer. As you approach the outskirts of the city, the trees start to fill in the gaps and the night sky is brighter ahead. The journey is mostly filled with silence, but you try to voice something. Anything. What are we going to do after this? A vexing question, posed by someone who thought of the plan in the first place. But he agreed to this madness as well, way too fast for you to expect. In the space, you can hear the leather of the steering wheel squeak under his grip.
Like I said, we'll see when it happens.
After half an hour, you reach somewhere on the edge of the city. You know this place. It was written on the funeral plans back then. Jane Avery's and now Owen's family graveyard. Here's the key to the gates. That's a big graveyard. Having a family graveyard. This man is like rich. Lampposts are scarce, and a swath of night sky shows itself between trees and buildings. Ah, damn, rich, and you can't even afford an extra lamppost? Wordlessly, both of you exit the parked vehicle and grab the equipment out. You're wearing pants with deep pockets. The left has your phone and surgical gloves, and the right has sample-sized makeup remover items. A side door in the property leads to a small field of headstones. It doesn't take long to notice Jane's, the only one that looks like it had been touched in years. You and Owen look at each other. In the severity of his features, conflict and determination fight for a chance. He squats and touches the soil in front of Jane's gravestone, muttering something you can't hear. Soon he stands and grabs a shovel. You follow suit. The metal breaks the soil, not even old enough to have grown plentiful grass and flowers. After a few minutes, you're starting to feel it in your muscles. Owen does fine, but eventually his movements slow down as well. In and out. Numbing sensation eventually takes over both of you, having to take breaks in between, and the sky grew inkier. You feel the night itself is watching. A bird on the fence, a distant sound of an engine, a seemingly empty tree line. At one point, Owen notices you stealing glances in that direction.
Stop that. There's nothing there. Focus.
Despite the words, his voice lacks the usual bite. When he thinks you're not looking, he starts glancing at the trees too, a good distance from the city. The stars are more visible than ever. You look up at them whenever you catch your breath. The digging goes on for what feels like an eternity. It's mostly filled with silence as neither you nor Owen feel like speaking. You don't count the hours, the adrenaline, or the sweat when your shovel suddenly thuds under the ground. Silently, you thank the fact that the coffin wasn't buried deeper. Owen shakes his head in disbelief. Just like you, he's sweating profusely in the cold, with gloves and boots covered in soil. Finally, damn! You look below. Great! I am now a criminal! Hurrah! Unlike the glass coffin, peppered with flowers and luxury, this one is a regular wooden coffin, covered in dirt, about to be broken into. You silently utter 1,000 apologies, hoping that this wouldn't be in vain. Hoping that curiosity won't kill you. You dig a little more around the head of the coffin, so you have somewhere to stand. Placing the shovel on the ground, you take 2 crossbars and pass one to Owen. Ready? He nods. The unevenly dug ground makes it possible for you to go lower, and you position your crowbar on one side of the coffin lid, and Owen does the same. Then you push. It's late into the night, and after all the digging, you feel every muscle in your arm strain. A loud creak signals you to keep going. Oh, hell. This is going to hurt. A bang echoes through the yard. The coffin lid is still whole, but parts of it crack from the pressure. Holding your breath, you and Owen look at each other again. He steps out of the hole, half climbing back up to give you space. You pass him your crowbar, readjusting your stance, and you partially push aside the lid. The woman lies, as if in slumber. You've always had a passing morbid curiosity about how your work would look after weeks and months. Her body has obviously started decaying since you last saw her, but she still looks clear. Jane Avery. Severe and drawn with ink, guilt takes its first deep bite into your heart. Of her. Of Chao. Of everything. But you have to know. In hindsight, you should have backed out when you had the chance, but you couldn't. There's someone who would understand. The man who pushed you into this hole and the one who will chase you to the ends of the earth. He would understand. Yinny, you good? Sorry, yeah, deep breaths. You remove the soiled gloves and pass it over to Owen. From your left pocket, you put on surgical gloves. Your hand grazes your phone strap and it takes everything in you not to think of him again. Can you imagine if Chao just followed you both here and he's just lurking? You douse a cotton pad and makeup remover. It's cold. You glance once more at the tree line. Your point of view is lower in the ground now, but you still convince yourself that there's nothing. You place the pad on the corner of Jane's mouth and wipe. Several times, again and again, until her skin appears beneath. An unnatural twisted crimson blooms around her mouth. Further broken in, now unmissably diseased. Unlike when you first worked on her body, the heart's undertakers decay. Shit. You don't tear your eyes away from the sight. Shit, he really did it. A version of you with a sounder mind would know what to do. Find out as much as possible and turn him in, or forget this ever happened. It's not the fact that you would rather forget this ever happened that scares you. It's why you would choose to do so. Not because of legal repercussions or personal safety, but rather, you just cannot do it. Love, guilt, and fear of loss, it seizes at your chest. All you want to do is run back away from all this, and these past weeks must have made you delirious. You must have spent too much time with chemicals on the dead and it's taking a toll on your mental fortitude. I think bad things are going to happen when we tell Owen that we don't want to turn Chao in. And the fact that you pulled this stunt is, on its own, a point of no return. You'll either bear this alone or go back to Chao. And you don't want to admit what you want more. I need air. You attempt to get out of the hole on your own, but your hands fail as they shake. Owen wordlessly hoists you up. In the cold, watching the night, you feel him tremor. You okay? No? Let's pretend this never happened. The words escape your mouth before you can think. It's barely audible, breathy and weak. But Owen heard it loud and clear. What? He turns to face you. It's too late to back down now. Let's clean this up before dawn and go back. What? His vigor returns in sheer shock. There's anger somewhere in there, showing itself in his furrowed brows. What are we supposed to do then? You said yourself, we'll figure it out when we find out. Yeah, but the proof is right there. That bastard most likely killed my mom. Even if it's true, how would you go about reporting it? And we broke into a grave. And we're about to accuse someone of murder out of a guess. What do you... This is your freaking idea, Yinny. Yeah, kinda was my idea. You can't think straight at all. Heat rises in your throat. An idea that you agreed to. We're both equally responsible for this. And I think this should end here. Forget it and go on with our lives. His jaw clenches. And his volume starts to rise further than what both of you have been trying to maintain from possible outliers. Driving by in the dead of the night. Forget it. Forget that someone killed my mom. I never liked her. She wasn't a good person. Shit she gets into is her fault. But for hell's sake, we gotta do something. Like what? Just try reporting it now. Do you think they'll really look into it? not arrest us on the spot for being insane. The rashes on her skin look like regular rashes. Or irritation from the makeup. It's not enough proof. Now you're agitated too. Your mind is spinning, the adrenaline-bolstered fatigue seeping into your bones like poison. Owen grabs your shoulders hard. Oh, goodbye, Yinny.
Don't mess with me. We're going to report this shit and take the blame together.
His nails are digging through your clothes. You grab his forearms.
Let me go. Say we're not going to forget this.
You're dangerously close to the edge of the dug-up soil. An enraged expression boils on his face, teeth nearly baring.
Let me go. We're not going to tell anyone about this, and we're going to go our separate ways. You're freaking crazy. You're just a piece of shit just like your little boyfriend.
I asked you how we were going to report it, and you couldn't answer. It's an oversight on our end.
Like I care. We're going to find a way.
Owen, I think we should... I know this is your mom, but I think we should maybe take a breather and maybe take 5.
His hold is going to bruise.
Your nails dig into his forearms too. Both of you are at a standstill.
Forget what?
You have nothing to lose other than what you want.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Cold fist smashes into the side of your face. Hey! You stumble to the ground further away from the hole. One of your vision turns slightly white at the impact. It burns. Before you can regain standing, Owen's shadow covers the swath of sky above. His hands clasp your neck. You know, obviously I don't want to die, but this is such a human reaction. It's like you find out your mom's being killed. The person that you trusted to help you uncover this, after you had been stalked into like a fervent paranoia by the spies that she has hired, is now saying, no, we're not going to do anything about it. We have to wait and leave. And obviously because of our association with Chao, he assumes that we are siding with Chao. So it's like a very desperate, like cornered gazelle type of reaction. Your nails claw at his unforgiving grip, legs thrashing under his weight. Years of bitterness and loneliness spill through the crevices. In Jane's dark eyes and cold, calloused hands. He's heavy. You can't kick him off. Owen!
You never understand. My life will be better without people like you.
You're going to be another body in the morgue. Someone will shut your jaw with a needle injector and use plastic covers to make sure your eyelids stay in place. They'll have to pat layers and layers of makeup to cover the bruises on your neck. Then they'll tend to the coroner's sutures, making sure nothing is loose. Oh, I'm gonna die.
I hate you. I hate you.
Are you talking to me or your mom? But no matter how much they see, they will never truly know you. How you chased a losing game and festered a poison that will now be your demise. How you laugh, how you like your dinner, and how your eyes shine. What your favorite color was. The mortician will probably feel bad for you. And then they'll go home and do it all over again the next day. Something pulls under your fingernails. You're drawing blood from Owen's skin. A thunder crashes in the distance, and it only takes 2 shallow breaths for droplets to fall from the sky. They're needle thin and you can feel it seep into your bones. You just wish you didn't go out alone like this. His choking grip releases. You inhale sharply, turning on your side. He's been knocked off by something, but all you can do is cough in rapid succession. See? I'm pretty sure Chao did follow us. It's still blurry. The world is still ringing. You see the outline of Owen holding his neck in panic, huffing on the damp grass. You feel a hand on your shoulder.
Yinny.
Hi, Chao. I mean, this outcome is preferable. I didn't want to die.
Are you right?
Woo, our boyfriend's here. Of course. Of course it's him. That's why you've been indulging the unspoken inside of you. Because you'll always fall, and he'll always catch you. You sit up and take in his figure, crouching protectively in front of you. Chao, Owen attempts to stand. Before you can react, a glint of metal swipes into your periphery. A knife held taut in Chao's hand.
Don't move. You make it spread faster.
That's when you notice another glint peeking from Chao's closed palm. Pretty sure when he knocked Owen off, I think he injected him with the Heart's Undertaker poison, the needle of a syringe.
You sick asshole.
Water drips across Owen's anchored scowl. This is so cool. It's like this moment that the veil comes off of his face. That's really, really cool. One of his hands presses to a spot on his neck. The other cradles the side of his stomach. He's on his knees, not daring to stand despite the defiance in his eyes. Glares back at him, fiery with hatred. You've never seen him like this before.
Should have listened to her, Owen. If only you had chosen to forget this, I would have let you go. Not ruthless. Is that what you said before you killed my mother too? Freaking animal?
No, I thanked her for everything. Owen opens his mouth, only for him to stare frantically at the grass. Eyes flitting like someone trying to stay awake. Sweat prickles his brows. His life is slipping. Despite it, he looks up again, losing none of the hatred behind the endless dark.
Why did you do it?
Chao gives you a side glance and he can tell that you want to know too.
She was my biggest liability and a dying one. If I missed the timing, I wouldn't get another chance. I do respect her, but not enough that I'll risk getting what I want. He turns slowly to you, adoration in his eyes. It's only because of her death that I got to arrange our meeting, right?
I mean, you could have walked up to me at a coffee shop. Sharp, pained breaths. Owen doubles down with a hand clawing at his heart.
Was she actually sick? Was that your doing too? Oh, not me. She was sick from age and substances. I just made use of it. Especially after she threatened me for refusing her more unsensible requests. I don't kill without purpose, Owen. It was something she couldn't understand. When she started sending people to kill me, I knew I had to finish her off.
Despite the biting words, you see something past Chao's face. It's a look you recognize anywhere. Grief.
I did respect her, but I'm a selfish man.
Disbelief.
That's what you would use to describe the crumbling look on Owen's face right now.
The rain mixes with the sweat and soil. He knows there's no time for everything he wants to know. He wheezes, another strain in his heart.
What did she say about me?
As if on reflex. Chao glances at your shaking figure. Concern, love, and a look for permission. In that split second, you know in your heart that, oh boy. Well, I'm going to pick the bottom one first and then we'll go back. You forgive Owen. You dragged him into this. In pursuit of answers, you brought the life down with you. Guilt and pity flood your heart. You look at Owen with a pained expression and at Chao again. A silent plea that he'll tell the truth, should it be kind. Chao's face twists to conflict and surprise barely visible in the moonlit night. He turns to Owen again and Chao's jaw tightens.
She loved you.
His face shatters in shock. The man looks up and the sky reflects itself in its dark sunken eyes.
What?
Chao fixes him with a tortured look and says nothing. Owen staggers up weakly. You stand as well and look at Chao in alarm, but he doesn't waver. He moves in front of you, a gesture Owen notices.
You both make me sick, lying son of a bitch. She never loved me. She was never there. Never tried to listen unless it's about my mistakes. Suddenly, I exist to her. I was a weakness in the bloodline and in her business.
He's hunched over, and you can't tell if it's the rain or his tears down his face. Ragged breathing sends a frenzied look in his eyes. I'm gonna be honest, I feel really bad for Owen. Can you imagine just wanting like love and warmth from your mom this entire time since you were a child and not getting any of it and instead being seen as like a black sheep, a non-viable asset? Like you're not even her child, you are an asset. And you are discarded because you are just nothing to her. And then what? She starts sending people to stalk you, to report on you and like take pictures of you and try and steal your life from the shadows. I don't know, I feel bad. His hand shoots to his chest, clawing at his shirt.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you so much.
He lunges forward at Chao's knife hand. He twists Chao's wrist, dropping the weapon to the grass. They fall and grapple with each other. You step back in shock, scared that either of them will fall into the hole. Chao kicks the open blade, just in your reach. Despite the poison running in Owen's blood, the adrenaline is palpable between the two men. He has several good inches over Chao and an obvious advantage in muscle mass. You're too afraid to move. Yeah, but he's also like 2 steps from a heart attack. A nasty sound breaks the air as Owen manages to land a punch. Chao yells. His arms grapple the other man in a straining grip. These are the last bursts of Owen's energy. He won't win this fight from fists alone, but who knows what damage he can do before he draws his last breath. You lock eyes with Chao, nose bleeding and crumpled. For a second, he looks almost scared. Not for his life, but for your silence. As if that after all this, you still wouldn't take the final jump. But you already know your fate since you love Chao back. You'll always fall, and he'll always be there to catch you. And that's the only thing you need. Am I going to kill Owen? In a frenzy, you grab the knife and lunge. You cut open countless many, but not like this. It should have never been like this. No, don't! You freeze. In a burst of strength, Chao turns to the side, bringing Owen along with him. His fist lands square on the man's jaw. Both men fall backwards to the ground, and you can't bear to look. For a while, there's no other sound but the light rain and Chao's heavy breathing. In the distance, you hear a flock of birds scatter. Snapping out of your shock, you kneel to Chao's side, to which he sits up and quickly hugs you protectively. The first warmth you felt tonight.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. Are you? You cradle the side of his face, inspecting any injuries. He leans to your touch like a starved man, sighing softly as he does. Alright, now explain how you knew we were coming here. His face is stained with rain and blood. And that's when you notice you're also ruined clothes. You need to hide this mess before dawn breaks. You give Chao's cheek one last stroke and let go. Both of you stand shoulder to shoulder looking at Owen's now unmoving body.
I intended a cleaner act.
He reproduces the empty syringe from his pocket, now carefully topped with its needle cap. Both your gazes fall to the discarded knife.
I didn't want you to take the fall, but thank you for trying to protect me.
In a twisted way, Chao, that is very romantic, thank you. You looked at me on the knife and I thought... He smiles cruelly, voice dropping to a slight whisper. His gaze is most loving. I just wanted to see. You can't even spare the energy to be baffled or pretend to do so. Oh man, Chao! Every part of your body will hurt tomorrow. It's still sore from the hours of digging and the tension it took to fend off Owen. A feverish chill runs over you now that the adrenaline is draining off. How did you find me? There's a tracker on the phone charm bead I gave you. Yeah, of course there is. I was either gonna think he either put a tracker on us, or he's been following us since lunch. You can get rid of it after this if you want. No, I'll keep it. You mean it. Somehow it doesn't faze you. In the corner of your eye, poorly disguised glee breaks on his face for a split second. You pretend not to notice. You walk over to Owen's motionless body, his face frozen in agony and hatred. Jane Avery's eyes stare hollowly back. Shaking ever so slightly, you close the man's eyelids. You stay there crouching by your old friend's side for a while. It is so sad to die, and your last moments are just of like betrayal, agony, hatred. And not only that, but you die beside the woman you hated and the one who never loved you, and now you're buried together. And there is something so hauntingly macabre about the whole thing. We should clean this up and finish what we started. You just can't die, can you? Apparently not. Why don't you leave an old woman in peace? Other old women knit and read, not send people to terrorize my life. Seriously, Jane, what do you want? I want to kill every loose end before I die and meet Owen one last time. Well, you're not going to get to do that, unfortunately. How's that going so far? One of these undead cockroaches is standing in my room right now. Classy. And Owen. You could call him first, you know? He hasn't changed his number since university. Don't start, Chao. Scared I'll kill that little babe of yours. Don't talk about her. It was your fault for being careless. Should have seen your face when you knew I found out. How'd you know she's not just a random person? Mother's instinct. Don't make that scary face, boy. You're not going to stop until you get what you want, are you? Even if I kill you. Correct. But you're not fighting back now. Why? Kid, I'm sick. And I'll sooner die than do something as boorish as scream for help. You somehow managed to corner me in this position. You are a pain, but I respect your skills, Cha-Shang. The decision to take my life is in your hands. But until you take it, then I will stop at nothing. Are you even aware that you're deteriorating? No, I'm in a hospital just for fun. I can take you out of your misery. Don't pretend you're doing this for my sake. Even if I were to hit my head and start begging to be spared, screaming for help, you'd kill me if it meant getting what you want. I don't be selfish. When you want something, do everything you can to get it. Don't pretend otherwise. And that drive is what Owen has always lacked, and you don't. What about your funeral later? If you kill me, you can do whatever you want with my funeral. You once said you like a glass coffin, right? And buried at your family graveyard. And what obligation do you have to me? You can even cremate me to get rid of the body if you like. Don't be weak, kid. Always finish what you started. If only you were my son, I would have polished you like a diamond. I'm not your son, Jane. Of course you're not. You're selfish, but still too kind. You don't have my hatred. Are you sure you do everything out of hate, Jane? You're dying. This is very interesting. At least be honest with me. What's the reason you can't let Owen go? Is it hate? Or is it love? Oof. A few months later, that night, you and Chao buried Owen above Jane's coffin. It was too much of a mess and too close to dawn to try and smuggle him into Heavenshade's crematorium. His car was dumped in a nearby lake, an extremely sloppy job, but the fact that neither you nor Chao heard anything about it proves that it worked anyway. Yet ever since that incident, you partially avoided embalming work, focusing mostly on being a funeral director. A decision that raised questions but eventually subsided over the guise of a mental health break. It wasn't a complete lie. In reality, you just kept being reminded of what you did. The guilt subsides eventually, but it never goes away. And yet none of your feelings can tear you apart as much as the sight of Chao. Of love and fear and attachment, but never hate. You've loved and let yourself change, or perhaps it was within you all this time. It was a question you don't have the answer to. Sometimes you'd wake up at night in Chao's arms and stare at him until you fall back asleep. You'd commit to memory the soft slope of his nose, the way his irises look lighter under sunlight, the rise and fall of the thin sweater over his chest, and how his mouth is ever so slightly agape in slumber. You come to recognize the crooks of his body, the rhythm of his heart, and the warmth of his arms around you. He's the only one in the world who understands you. This you've come to realize in the moonlit night with soiled gloves and needle rain. You fall again, and again, if it means that he'll always be there. Ending 3 out of 4. Catch me. Aww. I mean, but also, oh, poor Owen. Before I try and get the other 2 endings, which is basically picking like the alternate choices in the second chapter, I want to see what happens if we don't forgive him. Your face crumbles back into fear. Chao's eyes flit from it and down the bruises on your neck. He winces in anger as he faces Owen again. Chao's jaw tightens in agitation.
She didn't say anything good about you, if that's what you want to know.
His face shatters in hurt. In that moment, the last light in his dark sunken eyes left. He turns his head agonizingly to the still open grave. The reason he came into this world and the reason he'll leave.
Sounds like her, all right.
A dry, agitated cough comes out of his lungs. Then nothing. He crumples to the wet grass. With a faint last breath, guilt sinks its teeth deeper into your heart. This is so sad. That's so sad. For a few moments, there's only the sound of rain and the heavy thump behind your ribs. Snapping out of your shock, you turn to Chao. Feverish chill runs over you now that the adrenaline is wearing off. Oh, and then we're back to here. He just dies. Like, Chao's like, yeah, your mom never said anything good about you. He's like, yeah, that sounds about right. And then just dies. Because we've seen the other ending where he just fights for his life, even when cornered and there's no hope left. It is so sad in like this other ending where you don't forgive him, because you can tell that after hearing that, he just gives up. Which means that like part of him has like some sort of hope that he wishes his mom definitely still loved him. Well, that was upsetting. I feel bad. Poor Owen. Alright, so this is a different branching path, and basically to get here, you're going to pick the opposite of the answers as to what we picked before. So instead of digging deeper, we just leave everything be. Instead of hearing Syra out, you assume that she's jealous. And any single time that you are faced with the option to find out more, you just leave it and don't look into it. You know him, gentle and kind. A bloom amidst the meadow grass. You notice the way he looks at you, holding you in his gaze like you're the only thing in the world. Beneath it is a warmth you've always wanted to feel. Despite having known Chao for such a short period of time in your life, he feels like a much-needed addition to it. Every time he speaks to you in that gentle voice of his, or when it breaks out in laughter, something in your heart clicks. It grieves at the thought of losing him and delights at the sight of him. It's what you've been looking for, in your heart, to be loved and understood. A month later, it's the anniversary of the Helloyinny Museum of National History. The staff has been busy preparing for it, including Chao. You're excited to see his Curator's Choice exhibit. He had the concept for weeks but didn't want to tell you anything about it. Filled with anticipation, you arrive at the museum's entrance. It's the most crowded room you've ever seen the place to be, though not unbearably so. There's still much room to walk and move comfortably, not wanting to make Chao pick you up. You remember that his part of the exhibition is situated in the botanical wing. You take your time walking, observing the various decorations. Unlike the usual swiveling line of school kids or clusters of families, today's crowd is more distinct. Groups of people in suits, some eccentric outliers, and you can even see some people with cameras. From a distance, you could swear there's a blonde man dressed in an immense amount of blue and green feathers. You're starting to feel a little out of place. Luckily, further in the building, you see that there are still more regular-looking visitors just as curious-eyed as you. Yeah, so we're not digging deeper into Jane's death, and we are just choosing not to see anything, so we are now just happy. In a large hall, which you assume is reserved for temporary exhibitions or events, one of the walls opens up to a spacious gallery. It brings to mind an empty sitting room of a manor, suiting the rest of the museum's classic interior. You notice Chao's pink lock of hair first, talking to what you assume is a visitor. He looks right at home. It's like you can imagine his voice, patient and eager to answer. You linger near the entrance, waiting for him to be unoccupied. Several familiar faces mingle in the crowd. Syra is near. You don't feel like talking to them all though. When your eyes return to Chao, he looks your way at the same time. Yinny. Almost with a skip, he makes his way over to you. His arms softly wrap around you and you return the hug with a laugh. Your hands rub his back affectionately. You look very happy. Of course I am, you're here. I call this ending, I pretend I do not see it, as in all of the copious amounts of red flags. Both of you break the hug, and his hands travel down from your shoulders to your fingertips. Come. Right now, in front of everybody, he guides you to his display. It's a simple setup. There's a short vase and a jar, both made of glass. Inside the vase, 2 stems of the Heart's Undertaker stand proudly. It's the first time you've ever seen the flora in its living, blooming state. Inside the jar is a wet specimen of the mostly monochromatic bloom. It's exactly like the one Chao showed you back then. A ribbon is tied on the lid's top with a small paper bouquet in front of the jar. A small plaque describes the display's given name, Till Death Do Us Part. What do you think? It's beautiful. Are these real? I've never seen the live ones before. They are. Your gaze is fixated on the stand, but you can hear the pride in Chao's voice. His hand tightens around yours affectionately. You've seen its wet and dry specimens, but nothing compares to the real thing. Their petals curve gracefully, and the stamens bow in lovely arcs. Bright pink speckles the white in a stark contrast. Their stems, dark like ink, refract in the vase's water, They intertwine ever so slightly, a lover's quiet embrace.
I think you know already, but you and your work inspired it.
Chao's voice is barely a whisper. Not wanting to break the moment, you turn to face him only to see that he's already looking at you, eyes brimming with earnestness. Thank you, Chao, I'm honored. To know you see me like this, I hope you know that I feel the same about you. Still intertwined, your thumb strokes over the back of his hand. Under your skin, your chest thumps, drowning the sounds of the present crowd. It's how the world has felt the most comfortable lately. Only hearing your heart and the softness of his laugh.
Hearing you say that makes everything worth it.
When the show's over, I'll be taking this apart. I'll give you the preserved one if you'd like. I made it just for you. That's so sweet. Oh, it's not the museum's.
No, it's from my own personal collection.
They allowed it since it looked exactly like what the museum has. You look at him with an expression of disbelief. He breaks into laughter again, bumping his shoulder with yours.
Don't look too surprised.
I had to get you something too.
You don't have to, but I'll never deny anything from you, Yinny.
Okay, give me some time to plan it, okay?
Of course.
You take a last glance at the glass display. For now, a little broken from the trance. You notice a couple serious-looking people hovering, waiting for both of you to pause talking. I think other guests want to talk to you too.
I was hoping you wouldn't notice.
You nudge him gently and he grins, despite pouting after he releases your hand. What will you be doing after this?
Tidying, of course. There's a dinner thing for the staff too.
Oh, alright then.
But if you want to go anywhere, I'd rather go with you.
I can wait. You should celebrate with your friends.
I don't think I can handle any more social interaction.
Then want to come to my place?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll text you later. He grins and you nudge him to attend to the other visitors. You circle the rest of the room, admiring the pieces one by one. Some are simpler than others, simply showcasing their selection with no extra flair. Some went the extra mile, creating something similar to what you'd see in an art gallery. Sarah followed Evan's suggestion, choosing coffee beans. Pierre proves to be competitive with his display being one of the flashiest ones. You talk to the other curators you know, and Geraldine too, with all her pinching and cooing. Oh, you two are getting closer every day. Charles a good man, Yinny. He'll make you happy. I hope you keep making him happy too. You should see the look on his face when he talks to you. Aw. You smile, feeling a blush coming on. Yeah, he's really cute when he does that.
He'll be happy to hear that.
Keep that smile alive, Yinny. Cherish it always. I will, Geraldine. Thank you. When you've done plenty of talking and looking around, you move to other parts of the museum. The day soon turns to the afternoon. You text Chao and you both agree to wait for him at your apartment instead. You head home, a good distance away. You take a shower and clean up your apartment even further. Are we gonna boink now? With no preparation for cooking, you think about what to order later. Chao's most likely very hungry, so you consider something with meat and vegetables. You'll order it when Chao's getting ready to leave. A few hours later, the food arrived not long ago. You hear the doorbell ring once more, perhaps a little too enthusiastically. You rush over to open it. Chao stands with a large smile already plastered on his face. Hello there.
Aye.
He gives you a quick kiss and takes off his shoes by the door. Just then, you notice how his eyes look a little heavier than usual. You look tired. Did you eat anything all day?
Only a little, but it's okay. I'm fine.
As if in cue, his stomach grumbles. Chao shoots you an apologetic look. Sit down. You guide him by the arms to the kitchen island, where he happily surrenders. He drops his bag on the coffee table by the couch. The man lays his arms on the counter, stretching languidly. He watches you take out some plates and utensils. You're smiling, silly. And you're not? Unmoving from his spot, he playfully pokes at you when you approach his side of the counter. Hey! He finally straightens from the counter, seemingly shaking his fatigue off. Getting to see Chao's occasional playfulness, he attempts to rely on others more. And many other sides of him you've enjoyed. It feels right. You feel like you know him very well by now. Unfortunately, in this path, we do not. The food is soon served. It's still slightly smoking from the heat, enveloping the table in a comfortable warmth. Both of you eat until the plates are empty, light conversations sprinkled in between. Chao lets out a pleased hum.
So good. This is the same restaurant that we tried a few weeks ago, right? With the insanely loud live music?
Yeah, it was good, but my ears are ringing for minutes after we left. Fake out of this one.
I'll wash the dishes now.
You've had a long day. Sit down.
Fine.
This life is decidedly much more normal. No more energized after eating. You know he'd been working on the event since the early morning. He yields and you start the sink. You and Chao have gone past the stage of debating on who does what in each other's homes. Now you take turns, or one of you would take the initiative first. Then, when either of you is overwhelmed or tired, the other would go through extra lengths to ensure good rest and comfort. It results in a relationship where both of you are always trying to grow, both in terms of self and how you care for one another.
This year's anniversary is a little more crowded than last year's. The guests look weirder too. There was this magazine editor who looked like a peacock. I don't think I've ever seen a person wear that many feathers in my life. I saw him too, he was blonde, right? That's what you noticed first. After the kitchen and its island were cleared, you and Chao moved to the sofa. You lean on his shoulder and he wraps an arm around you. I'm glad you're happy today. How could I not be? The event I worked on for weeks went well and now I'm spending time with you. But now that I think of it... Wait, what did I say? I should really shout oh. Oh, I almost forgot. He quickly snatches up his bag from the coffee table and rummages through it. You smile at his actions. It's easy to tell when Chao's especially joyful. His movements get more energetic, different to the way he normally brings himself. Deep down you're proud that he shows his side to you more than anyone else. Chao opens his hand to a phone charm. It's simple but suits your daily style. Your brows rise in surprise. Ah, the one with the tracker in it. I bought some crafting stuff when I decorated my display. I made this for you, but you don't have to use it if you don't want to. I'll use it, thank you, Chao. And this thing. He pulls out another item from his bag and places it on the coffee table. It's a plastic figurine as tall as your palm. You recognize it as a popular mascot. Its oblong shape and 2 dots for eyes look back at you in a silly, cute way. Is there a camera inside that? I'm almost just like wary and a little bit sad because in this one you're just blissfully unaware and I don't think he's really going to change much. They'll be the guardian of your apartment now. Yeah, because you put a camera in it, right? Oh, what will they be protecting me from? Since you're the one who looks like them, you should ask. You turn to Chao in feigned defense. I do not look like that. Fine, I'll take them to guard my house instead. Chao reaches over to take the figurine back, but you snatch it and hold it protectively to your chest. No, they're mine now. Really? He leans forward and you stand to take it out of his reach. Chao follows suit, and you evade once more. Giggling ensues as the two of you circle the coffee table. In a lucky swipe, he manages to grab the figurine. The back of Chao's knees hit the chaise side of the couch and he stumbles backwards, pulling you along. Oh, now we're gonna bang-a-lang. Hey! You fall right on top of him, his hands sprawling to hold your weight. He catches your body in a warm hug. The vibrations from his chest travels to yours as a loud laugh escapes him, gleeful, sweet, a sound you wish to hear for the rest of your life. You can't help but laugh at the ridiculous situation. He's definitely regained his vigor. You lift yourself slightly, looking down at Chao. He's staring back, cheeks flushed from laughing. Tee-hee! Kiss him. You lower yourself once more, bringing your face to his. In the lowering light of the room, his rosy eyes look back in hunger. They look at both your eyes and then to your lips. You're beautiful. Oh, thank you. His collar smooths under your touch. Chao observes your every movement, committing it to mind. If slow teasing is a game, you know you need. Why are you making that face? If you want something, you should say it. Why are you making that face? This is supposed to be the sweet and romantic route, Chao. He always loses. Chao's toothy smile grows wider. It collapses when you kiss the corner of his lips. He kisses you back like he always does, deep and gentle at first. A small pleased gasp always leaves him. Your hands cup his face. You're straddling the man as he continues to kiss you a further. Chao, I just got back. How forward. A demand you're happy to oblige. The beating shivers of his chest start to make you shaky as well. He makes a great effort to keep the pace rising slowly and steadily, but you can tell from the way his hands immediately roam across your back, already tightening his grip. You can feel him grow. Oh, like a plant? He pulls a breath away to whisper and leave a trail of pecks from your jawline to your neck. It's above your collar line, but that's an issue for you in the morning. Chao, pleased with the marks he left, he goes back up to your face. It's getting kind of hot in this room. A buried wanting always wells up in these moments of passion with him. Restlessness is starting to affect his movements. Unsteady arms embrace your body desperately. Wow. Wow. In the low light of the room, only you and Chao exist. Pleasant and content. The night is still young. Better make sure it doesn't go to waste. A few weeks later, you squint at the wide array of flowers in front of you. They're freshly picked, spotless colors shining back expectantly. Chao is at the bakery next door, splitting up after your request to browse the florist alone. The flowers in his living room are starting to wilt, and you want to make your own bouquet for him. In the corner of your eye, you see the staff hovering, waiting for you to ask for assistance. Maybe an all-white bouquet would look good. You look up at the florist, and she immediately approaches you. She helps pick out the flowers of your choice. There is a wide variety of wrapping paper and ribbons. After taking a neutral-colored one, you wrap the bouquet with pointers from the florist. It's not professional work, but you put great care into it, making sure every fold is perfect. You pay and leave the florist. The sky is brighter and bluer than it's been in these past few days. It's a comfortable temperature at this time of the year, perfect for blooming petals. Chao leans on a wall outside the bakery. His hand falls across his face. His hair falls across his face as he looks down at his phone.
There's a photo of you and him behind the clear casing. Chao! He looks up to you and then to your outstretched hand. The bouquet shines in the morning sun and he takes it with both of his hands. For you.
Really? Did you make it yourself?
I did. Do you like it?
I love it.
Thank you. One of his arms cradles the bouquet and the other holds your chin, giving you a quick kiss. You titter affectionately. Your relationship grows deeper by the day. No love is perfect. There have been disagreements too. Sometimes you feel like Chao is still difficult to read. In vulnerable moments, there's something buried deep in him that you've yet to see. Yeah, because we didn't dig about the death, but you don't mind. You're sure that you know him well enough, that his love will stay comforting forever. Whatever the problem is, it never takes long for you to reconcile, both knowing your place in each other's hearts.
Can I take a picture of you with it?
Sure. He passes the bouquet to you. As usual, Chao takes out his phone. You smile at the now familiar view of him holding a camera to you.
3, 2, 1.
He takes several snaps and you move over to his side to look at the results.
Beautiful as always.
You feel a blush coming in. Thanks. Do you want a picture too? He nods and cradles the bouquet once more, standing in the same spot you did, and he beams at you lovingly. The bright morning sky and blooming petals. The living city and Chao, it's a sight you're willing to do anything for. You raise the camera to your eye level. I love you. Something in his eyes shines under the sunlight before closing into a gleeful smile.
I love you too, Yinny.
Ending 2 out of 4. Love me. I mean, that was a really cute and sweet ending. But part of me is like, is it really like the best ending for Chao and like MC though? Because I feel like ending 4, like the one where you go back to his lab and everything and find everything out and realize that you're both cut from the same cloth and that you're kindred spirits. I feel like that one, you both end up with a deeper connection and true happiness, even though it was so morally wrong. So this one, it kind of makes me feel like he's just masking for you. Despite it being so happy and so carefree, it still just makes me a little bit sad. Alright, before I get the last ending, we are going to choose the cuddle option. You kiss his cheek and lay your face on the crook of his neck. With a slow, loving pace, Chao strokes the back of your head. Yeah, I too will also stroke the back of his head. His other head.
I'll take a shower first, okay? We can cuddle in bed after.
You groan but break off the embrace. Chao gives your temple a quick kiss before heading to the bathroom. Later, you sit on the bed idly scrolling your phone. Chao's handmade phone charm is already attached to the casing. Yeah, the one with the tracker in it. Inside the bathroom, the buzz of a hairdryer continues. It clicks off after a few moments. Chao steps out of the bedroom, face flushed and shirtless. His hair is dry and messy. Aww, he's so cute. The bed shifts under a sudden weight. The scent of your soap enters your periphery. Something you know he likes, using when he's over at yours. Comfortably, still face down on the bed, he puts an arm over your waist. Aren't you cold? Take a shot from my closet.
No, it's okay.
He stretches his back, fully displaying his slim body, clad only in the clean pair of pajama pants he left in your room the last time he visited. It still makes you stare. You return your phone to the bedside table and tuck yourself into the blanket, face to face with Chao. A smile blooms on his face, and he opens his arms for you to slip in. Your body rests perfectly in his embrace, warm and protected.
What did you do today?
Nothing. I rested and did some paperwork. Aren't you tired?
Yeah.
But
I don't think I can sleep.
You always say that, and close your eyes 2 seconds later. A slight pout, his fingers trace shapeless lines on your back. It faintly tickles, but you find it endearing. Bare skin stretches under your arms. Chao's heat, scent, and presence give you a comfort you cannot find anywhere else. The quiet makes way for you to notice. A distance away, the engine rolls on the asphalt streets. Your clock ticks every second and Chao's breathing comes to a slower pace. You don't know how long you spend feeling the moment. Before you know it, Chao's hand slowly stops stroking your back.
Good night, Yinny.
You look up and see that his lashes are flooded shut, muttering in half sleep. You smile at him and close your eyes as well. The day is ending. Go rest. He'll always be here when you wake up. A few weeks later. But yeah, and then we get back to the same ending branch where you give him the bouquet. So yeah, that was the alternate path to lead to this one. We are now going to get his last ending. So I will see you guys there. Alright, well, instead of being super curious about the flower, this time we'll just thank him. Really sweet of you to remember me like that. Thank you, Chao.
Of course.
You two sit in simmering silence before he claps his hand softly and picks up the jar.
Alright, let's put this back.
You stay at the desk, leaning your body weight into it. Chao's slender figure bends itself once again to return. Unlock the cabinet. There's a slight frustrated wrinkle between his brows, something you don't think you've seen on the man's face before. It reminds you of just how little time you've known him. Back towards you, seemingly observing another row of cabinets, Chao speaks up.
Hey, Yinny.
Yeah?
Can you show me your morgue?
Oh, a few days ago you agreed to let Chao see one of Heaven Shade's morgues. Though for what reason beyond his usual curiosity, you didn't ask much. You've had time to think about Chao, the odd circumstances under which you met, and the lasting connection that you can see blooming if you were to nurture it. You won't, however. Oh no! You're not oblivious to the way he looks at you, the small charming gestures and bashful smiles. You don't want to give false hope to a man who's been so kind. That and an irrepressible gut feeling you've been having for the past week. You can't pinpoint what makes this entanglement feel wrong. Is it the fact that you met through a dead stranger's request? The way his demeanor changes ever so slightly when he thinks you're not looking? Have you met him before? Under those rosy eyes you feel something growing towards you, all-consuming and searingly cold. You can stay and find out, but you won't. After today you'd be even, you think. He showed you the heart of his workplace and you'll show him yours, that's all. You stand with Chao in front of the morgue's doors. The sun slowly sinks beyond the windows. I'm not allowed to show you the occupied morgue, so I'll show you this one instead. It's temporarily out of service for maintenance. This door leads directly to it. We usually go through a different one and pass by another room to prepare. Oh, this is a bad ending. We don't even want to be with him, and we don't even want to be his friend. And we definitely don't want to get freaky with him. And Chao gives an understanding nod. His eyes follow your hands as they tap your ID card on the door scanner. You've gotten a new lanyard since you received the replacement card. Inside is a monotone room, devoid of bodies and stagnant air, cold to the skin. Chao hesitates on the threshold. I'm not wearing any protective clothing, is that okay? Neither am I, it's alright. The room is going to be sterilized after maintenance is over. Chao comes in and looks around top to bottom, left to right. His mouth is slightly ajar in awe, despite of nothing particular of note being in the room. It makes you unsure of what to tell. You're also not used to the feeling of standing in the morgue with a guest. Back in the museum, every inch of the storage room was covered in stories to show and tell. And too many. A morgue with no bodies or equipment is just a cold room with perpetual chemical smell to it. You manage to make small talk, explaining what you can and responding to Chao's questions. The gaps of air in which none of you talk are filled only with the rustling of clothes, of footsteps on bare tiles. After a while, Chao seems satisfied with his look around. He's uncharacteristically quiet today. The most communicative thing you see is the silent intensity in his eyes. You bring him outside once again. You wanna ride home, Yandere? No thanks, it's alright. I'm going home with Ash today. Oh, alright. Aww. You two seem close. Yeah, I'd say we're close friends. He looks at you, waiting for you to say more. When he realizes you have nothing to say, shifts on his feet, a tense expression on his face. I'll see myself out then. Thanks for today, Yandere. See you around. Chao turns and walks away, not waiting for a response. You watch his back and something in your chest clenches like you want to know more, remember more things about him. But after today, you're sure he already gets the idea. A few weeks later, since then there have been no more meetups, no more jobs to do with Chao. He has texted you on several occasions, either starting a conversation or asking you for lunch or dinner. You respond minimally to them, and at one point he stops completely. A part of you thinks it's cruel, but you don't want to give him the wrong idea. It's clear he's not just looking for a friendship. You abandon a job from a woman you don't know, and now it's over. You fell back into your routine in the funeral home, in your apartment, and in places you frequent around them. Same people, same job. Same route, same places, only now you live it with a strange nagging memory of Chao. The choking feeling doesn't go away. Oh, where did it go wrong? I did everything I could. I waited for so long to get a chance. You're so frustrating, Yandere. I was so close. Chao, are you joking it? If only you knew what lengths I went to hear you say my name. To smile at me like that. You keep me up at night. I want to know everything about you. How? How you cry and how you look when you're scared. Was I foolish to think I could win you over? I wish you were actually here. Oh. I want you. My ID! I'll do everything I can to make you look my way again. You'll break and I'll be there to clean it up. I promise, Yandere. I hope only death will take me away from your mind so we'll be the one and the same, even if it means you won't love me the way I want you to. Several weeks later, you've been seeing things. You start finding your name in places you frequent. Oh, great. A topography on a telephone pole poster. Graffiti on the library you always sit on. Someone calling out your name across the street with no apparent source. They're scattered and of patternless frequency. Initially, you tell yourself it's just your mind playing tricks until the disruptions start creeping closer like a disease. There will be packages with no return address sent to your apartment, filled with various things from basic groceries to roses. The packages stopped at one point, but other strange things kept following you. You start to pick up recurring noises both outside and inside your home. A crinkle of plastic. A metallic click. An operational sound. It made you erratic. Paranoia eats you inside out. Every hair standing on end at the slightest tick. Your mind denied until it manifests itself as an irreparable mistake last night. You felt it again. A pair of eyes you don't know bore into your very being. Your feet took you into an alternate route, home by foot, adrenaline pumping blood into your head way faster than you can handle. Heat in your body betraying the cold night. You reach a dark alley and through its walls, bounce another pair of footsteps heavy and increasing in speed. Oh no. You don't look back. The sliver of light at the end of the alley seems impossibly far as you run fast as you can.
A clammy hand grips your collar. Seizing your every being, you grab the nearest object and hurled it at the figure. The rusted pipe hit them with a metallic ring and the stranger drops to the concrete. His hood falls down, showing the telltale flush of intoxication. You don't stay to see if he was still breathing. Did I accidentally kill the wrong person? That was a few hours ago. Now past midnight, you find yourself running back to the deserted city streets. Someone had left a letter on your doorstep in the dead of the night, followed by frantic bell ringing. You got out of bed to receive the wretched message. Its contents jerked you to move whatever it takes. You all but fly past the unsupervised back door of the funeral home. Blood rushes to your head like a surge of thunder. Ragged breaths cause the cold building to feel suffocating. You slam your ID card into one of the empty morgue scanners and frantically open the cabinets, checking them one by one. Sweat starts to slick your gloveless hands, but they keep pulling and pushing. Until you find it, an unidentified body that was never registered in the morgue. White fabric covers their entire body. Wet blood seeps through it from the temple area. Oh no. On their chest lies your lost ID card, still attached to its white lanyard. Your face, ever so slightly younger than you look now, stares back. If anyone decides to check the morgue's entry log, it is the only face that will be recorded. You grasp your head, walking backwards into a wheeled metal bed. No scream can come out of your throat. Someone found out. Someone found out you're mistaken. They know it's you. This is the work of the same ever-looming shadow that's been choking you for a time that you can't even recall. You reread the envelope that seized your every being, now crumpled in your clammy grip. Loving cursive, blocky and simple, graces the paper in it. I left him at the place we last met. Now it's your call, my undertaker. Always finish what you started. In an excruciatingly slow peek you see under the fabric. Blood has smudged over the drunkard's bruised skin, kisses the corner of his mouth. You wheel the metal bed to the crematorium. Mechanically so, the weight of a stranger feels familiar under your hands. Moonlight falls through the windows like dust. This is insane. Chao has actually just driven us to accidentally kill someone, and now he's going to be back here to fix it all. Rough rattles echo through empty hallways, silent witnesses to your choice. Your grip tightens on the searingly cold handles of the bed. No one will find out. You believe this, because the curator will take it to the grave and so will you. Ending 1 out of 4. Break me. But that was all of the endings of Loving Decays. I hope you guys enjoyed this because I absolutely loved this game. I thought it was written so well. Like, Chao's character was explored wonderfully. Owen as well. Like, you can just tell that he's a very complicated individual that's driven to extreme lengths and emotional reactions after being completely broken by his life, and that is very, very sad. Everyone in this, in some way or another, is quite flawed, depending on the choices that you take. And obviously, a lot of their actions aren't morally correct, but you can understand why they did the things they did, and how messed up or complex they really are. And for example, Owen, I spoke about it a little bit earlier, but experiencing that kind of paranoia that's built up over the years from your mum stalking, the insecurity and the absolute hurt from losing your mother's love to never being good enough, like that really breaks you as a person. And now, like, what his last bastion being you, in a way, depending on the choices that you make, siding with Chao over him, and after finding out that his mother was murdered, like that genuinely broke him and drove him to do terrible things. But it also caused him to die so incredibly tragically, you can't help but just feel incredibly sorry for him. And Chao as well is a very complex individual. He's calculative, absolutely terrifying, and very charismatic, which, you know, are like some of the qualities that make up a very, very horrifying Yandere to me. But like, you can also see how much control he has as a person. And I think that's the thing that is the scariest about him to me. If you meet him blow for blow and reveal yourself to be just as deranged as he is, he takes that in stride. He absolutely loves it. And enough to the point where he drops his mask, I think for the first time, experiences like what it, like true happiness and enlightenment with you. And I think that is like the happiest ending for them, because you also have like that kind of like pit festering inside you. And in a way, it just frames you two as kindred spirits. In the one in which you don't find out anything about Jane's death and you just fall in love with Chao, he's still really happy. He's still really grateful to have your love and have you around. But part of me wonders if, like, you know, all of that, like all of the love and all of the happiness that he gives you, is that just a mask? And in a way, you can kind of interpret it as yes, because he still gives you the tracker and puts it onto your phone. In this route, you have no idea what that is. But despite you not asking the right questions and seeing his lab, he's still perfectly happy with you. So that's a very big amount of control that he has to keep his true self and his true desires hidden while he lives his life with you happily. And I think that sort of masking is very scary, because while you're both happy, you never truly know who he is inside. And he always has to hide that part of himself. The bad ending is definitely quite frightening to me, because you rejecting him absolutely sends him over the edge. He goes completely unhinged, but in a way that is so calculative and patient and slow, driving you
to incredibly paranoid lengths to the point where you accidentally kill someone. And I think a lot of it was by his design because that person had your ID, your lost one. It wasn't one that you dropped. It wasn't your replacement. It was your old one that you lost because the photo of you was younger. So it was the one that he was holding while he was doing whatever he was. It is so scary like that he would orchestrate something like that just to drive you back into his arms. That's the essence of like a yandere, right? Like if I can't have you, no one else can. Or if I can't have you, I'll break you in a way that I can. And that's why he's so frightening and so incredibly well written. But yeah, I really enjoyed this story. I had such a wonderful time with it. There was so much care put into a lot of the work as well. The art was so pretty. I love Chao's designs. I love the side characters. I love how the plot built up as well. Because it starts off so like calm and then like a sense of insidiousness just seeps into you. And that kind of atmospheric build-up is one of my favorite things when it comes to playing like any sort of like thriller yandere games. Like there was no sudden jump scares. It was just a creeping sense of dread that just gripped you more and more the further you progressed into the game. And then the payoff was incredible and I loved it. So much care was put into like the writing of the scientific paper as well. A lot of the language was like very scientifically accurate and like akin to what you would see in a scientific journal paper. Just like the different terminologies and everything that was referenced, right down to some of the prose having specific words that would have double meanings towards like things in relation to embalming, mortician work, and preservation, which kind of kept driving that dread back and back again with like slices of foreshadowing and just very clever language play. So yeah, I thought this was brilliant. I loved it. I am so happy that I got to play this. I had such a wonderful time. The dev did an incredible job. And yeah, I hope you guys liked it as well. But yeah, thank you so much for experiencing this story with me. If you guys like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you would like to play the game yourself and support the dev and leave a kind comment, I have linked the game in the description box below. And if you would like to support me, my Patreon is linked down in the description box below as well. Supporting me monetarily is not mandatory, just very, very appreciated as it allows me to continue making videos for you all. Thank you so very much again for your support. And until next time, take care.